Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very odd bit of news coverage on this channel. We try not to do it very often, but last year we had a very cozy dementia stream with Mr. Biden giving his first State of the Union, second State of the Union address. We didn't really have one in 2021. And so I'm joined today by Mr. Jay Burden and Christopher Sandbatch to cover the absolute state of this country. How are you guys?
It's pretty sad that I'm going to be the optimist here. I'm the dude that's riding with Biden here tonight. I'm going to try to find things that are positive to talk about.
Yeah, see, I'm going to take the exact opposite end of this, which is that I disappointingly, it seems like Biden has kind of scraped his brain back into his head. And so the dementia moments have kind of slowed down, which at least made the last one fun. This will probably just be kind of boring, is my take on it.
Well, I was going through, because they always make this, of course, a big event of, what's right and proper and what you're supposed to do. But, they make this a big celebrity invitation for guests. So we've had an exorbitant amount of shooting parents, like a shooting victim's parents are coming. So we've got Michael Brown's single mother coming. We've had one of the Parkland parents come, and it's already been a hot and spicy moment for everyone coming in.
Is anybody coming from Memphis? The family of the dead gangster or the family of the psychopath cops? Are any of them coming?
Oh, I think one of their family members is coming, and so is Bono.
Unfortunately, Prude, I think you're wrong. I think everyone involved in that shooting has subsequently been involved in other shootings and killed since then. So there's none of them left.
Well, shootings are a hell of a drug in this country. So I don't know. Yeah, yeah, he sure will be Vingel. We had to have at least one major celebrity come. So that's what
Bono, like the U2 singer, though. Like, did they pull his name out of a hat? Like, U2 hasn't. They must be doing a tour or something, because they hadn't released an album in like.
Well, let's go find out. U2.
It's been like 10 years since they released an album. There's no reason for this guy to even be.
Wasn't the last time that they released an album came with that god awful Apple Music instant download that everyone had to do?
Oh, that sounds terrible.
So yeah, starting April 16th, the spring 2023 run of 11 dates of Bono's acclaimed Stories of Surrender. Well, there you go.
Super easy, that's how marketing works now, man. Like, everything is curated. There's no reason. It would be interesting to know who the talent agent for Bono is that booked him at the State of the Union. That's like when they told, it's like whenever they show up as an entertainer and they tell you, you're doing Las Vegas now, man. You're gonna go prop up Joe Biden.
Curtis Brown out of London is his agent.
That's fast fingers.
Yeah. So they're bringing in the Supreme Court right now. So do we want to do predictions of what we're going to cover today?
Actually, I was just about to bring that up. I feel like we're going to get a gun violence moment just because of the shooting, shooting parents involved. I'm kind of curious if we'll get a clap for Ukraine moment. It seems like that's been kind of like out of the news slightly more, but other than that, I've got no other than just like economy good, no hard and fast predictions, at least from my end.
I'm thinking a lot of economy because Jerome Powell was talking this morning. We'll have to see, because there's some stuff that's interesting to talk about the economy. It'd be real interesting to see the way they spend this. Who is that the Ukraine president's name? I can't remember. Zelensky. That's his name. Yeah, see, that's how out of the loop I am on that one. Yeah, we're clapping for Ukraine. Oh, I don't know what there is to report on that front, though. Like that whole situation.
I heard he's going to Poland next week, near the anniversary of the invasion, to sort of drum up support. He's going to Poland.
We need Zelensky to pop out of a cake, is what's going to have to happen here.
Well, you know, with all
They'll
that
just start-
like 3D, like the technology we use for like those god awful Disney shows, like The Mandalorian or whatever, it's like that panoramic. You can make anyone stand anywhere. You could have him
Yes.
pop out of a cake and sing "Happy Birthday, Mr. Biden" real quick.
Yes.
well, that's the only way he could get Biden to give him even more money is to jam, singles instead of a G thing, right?
Not even
Or to
real
digitally
Zelensky.
de-age Zelensky to make him look underage.
Yes.
It's very weird that we have a man in one of the like first lady type positions, because Kamala Harris. Ugh.
She's married.
Yes.
There's a dude. She's married to a dude.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. What's his name? He's like some high profile guy. Kamala Harris.
I'm so out of the loop on this administration. I don't even know who the.
Douglas Emhoff. They've been married since 2014.
Oh yeah.
The second gentleman of the United States.
I know a Nigerian doctor that briefly dated Kamala Harris, and like he's like big doctor, like some position NIH or something like that. I hope he's not watching. And he said she was the most awful person he'd ever encountered, like for any length of time. Like he was like everything you think about her is true. She's just power hungry, social climber, so on and so forth.
Like all money pits and money suckling sounds, I'm sure Kamala Harris found her way to some high profile guy that had money.
So I hate to say this because obviously you should never ask your friend this, but well, you got to wonder, was it true? What everyone said about her and Willie Brown, that she was just there for,
yeah, no, I mean that's that's I don't even think that's open for speculation. That's just the way that like if you ask her, she'll probably tell you that's how it was. She'll be like I loved him, but yeah, I can hear the algorithm whirring up. I won't do that again.
There's so many fat women here, like so many fat women. Jeez.
Does he have a Native American in his cabinet? I just saw someone with beads. I have not loaded it up on screen. I should probably do that.
I was going to say,
do
I need to pipe it in myself? Or
no, I've got it. Let's go enjoy the craziness that is the State of the Union address in this country. And I will put it on full screen. So yeah, there we go. This is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. And that guy right there kind of looks like John Favreau, although he's like a White House, or he was a speechwriter for Obama's administration, wasn't he, for a while? But yeah, this is his cabinet and all sorts of calicated people. Yeah, look at this country. Look at us guys. But yeah,
I want to see Jim Clyburn. Where's Jim Clyburn?
Well, this is the cabinet, I guess, and family is what they announced, and there's Buttigieg, and it's just a really gay receiving line, literally.
I like this woman over here in the green. She was taking a selfie. It was beautiful.
Yeah, so many shiny, happy, smiling people. We kind of have to in an age of Botox and cameras being everywhere. You gotta always have to smile, even if it's hurts. That's the appropriate response.
Who's that scruffy looking dude with the ponytail?
That would be Representative Raul Grijalva, I think.
Huh. I'm realizing
how did you have that on recall? How did you have that?
No. There's another one. There's like two guys that are like hardcore, basically Mexican ethnats that are in the Congress, and he's one of the two. Hispanic representatives in Congress. There's more than, I think it's Luis Gutierrez, I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but he's Puerto Rican. But I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Is it
look
him?
Look at that dress on that woman. Dude, look at that woman in the yellow. Oh man, she's got wings. That's what I am. I'm the fashion commentator tonight. Just going to talk about everybody.
I couldn't get Mr. on, so you'll have to do.
Yes, we can't read that.
Yes, I can't read. I can't put that on screen. Although I guess the reading of the law is a little different, but I mean, not that different. But yeah, Cinema is there in between her OnlyFans. I don't think she does, but I do like how she'll like show up and everyone girl bossed her way to that thumbs down on the
Dude,
Obamacare vote.
she kind of looks hot in those thigh high leather boots, but you know, like I can well, I'm just actually gonna stop talking for a minute.
I mean, you shouldn't. That's entertaining, but she's by nature of her being under 60, thin, and not that grotesque looking that she
Yeah,
can
I'm trying
pull
to
off
remember.
being attractive in Hollywood or attractive in Congress.
Yeah, there was a fundraiser that I was at one time, and it was like a Attorney General's fundraisers for the Attorney General in South Carolina.
Crayons.
And
what are the crayons for?
We're gonna find out.
This is the gayest country. This is
we're gonna find country.
Out. You know, it's for education. It's for education. What for? I don't know.
Oh, I thought that was like a support the troops thing. Like, you know, like here's to our Marines, you know?
They wouldn't be that on the nose about
Somebody is in the comment section using my real name. I don't know how that got out. But no, but like, I was at an Attorney General's fundraiser, and that South Dakota governor was there. And she just totally misread what South Carolina, like the Republican culture in South Carolina. I guess she flew straight in from South Dakota or something like that. But she was wearing like red and black leather, like tight clothing and that sort of thing. And like that just does not fly in Greenville, South Carolina yet. It was really strange to see like Republicans from other parts of the more progressive, I guess, parts of the country, you know, fly into South Carolina and run into the wall that is like real Protestant pretension. She went down well, I don't know. I don't want to go that far. She might have found some company later, but not from the table I was sitting at. Yeah, BDSM gear. That's kind of what I was. That's what I was implying.
Bob Dole is dead, but yeah, I'd vote for him in 2024. Oh man. Oh, what are we doing now? Who's up next?
I think Charlie was saying in chat. What do you think the chances are that Biden really surprises everyone and resigns?
Oh, here it is.
Mr. Speaker,
oh
the
no!
President of the United States.
Oh, he's got a laptop, one of those little Microsoft Edge tablets. Oh God! Here we go.
Who is that woman with male pattern baldness?
You
mean the white Lori Lightfoot?
Yes. Oh, there's my congressman. It's always good to see him.
Imagine the smell.
Instant
his
oatmeal.
That she does look like Lori Lightfoot. Oh my gosh.
She's like that mixed with Earthworm Jim. It's truly unsettling.
Lori,
how is she a bodyguard? What is she guarding? Oh my God, it's Lindsey Graham.
Oh, there we go, Lori Lightfoot. I can read that one. Oh man, I do love this like sleek comb over look that they're giving him. Like, all right, Joe, we got to make you look at least 5 years younger.
He does look better than he did 2 years ago when both of his eyes are going the same direction. But you know, sometimes one of them will sloth the wrong way for a minute.
Well, or remember on the debate stage when he was a CNN town hall or whatever, and one of his eyes started like a blood vessel popped live on air.
Yes.
You're like, oh my gosh,
he's gonna stroke out.
I mean, like,
but you know, he's always been like this. He's always been like, he's always been an absolute goofball. So it's kind of hard to tell the dementia from just regular Joe Biden.
Well, that's true, but his eyes weren't literally filling up with blood 10 years ago. You know, it's not a huge bar to clear, but I'd kind of like him to at least not look like he's actively dying on stage.
That's what all the bronzer's for.
Someone in chat brought this up. Has anyone seen? Have we made a Fetterman sighting yet? Like that's the one.
Oh, he's working from home.
Wait, really?
How I understood
Senate?
it, that Fetterman is working from home.
What a sweet gig! I can't get work from home at my email job, and they just let him phone in senator.
Yeah, so no, apparently Fetterman uses assistive technology in the Senate to help him with his stroke recovery, according to Times, which includes not being there as present and having phones and computers in. Oh,
What? How does he? This is interesting. How does he vote in roll call? Like, don't you have to be in the room?
I think so. I mean, that's when they'll have him there, right?
Wow.
His wife is working for him from home. Yeah, that's also true. But I hope he's there tonight. It'll be such a great moment for the disabled community in this country.
Yeah, for John Fetterman and the tumor growing on his neck, which are
That
legally two
tumor
separate
was
people.
excised from the corpse of John McCain and was like created
Assumed
the
a new
senatorial
host.
homunculus that is John Fetterman.
Now, somebody in the chat, a dedicated Fetterman watcher, confirms his presence in the building.
Gio, Fetterman wife,
that means
a
somebody in
problematic
Paul
wood.
Fahrenheit's chat is letting us know Fetterman's there.
I was gonna say that. I was like, one of Paul's minions is here.
Oh, that geriatric Democratic leadership.
They're so old. It's like it's almost transhumanism at this point. Like it's like right there on the line.
Oh, this whole Congress represents. Oh, we got jokes tonight, ladies and gents. We got jokes tonight. Senator from home, vote from home. I'm loving I love our chat. Half of it's jokes, half of it's Fed posts. Oh my gosh. Oh, so many old yellers. Oh.
What is an old yeller? Is this a person that's like they've
It's
colored
someone
their
that needs
skin
to be put
artificially?
down.
Yeah.
And he's cheering him on with his little hands. That's my wife. It's like she was probably ready to settle down in 2014 when they got married.
God, what if he dies?
Just strokes out at the podium. Oh God. You know, it was really bad because like I remember.
I have the high privilege and distinct honor to present to you
Distinct honor.
President of the United States.
God.
I like how some amount of reverence exists within us, so we did all quiet down for the announcement.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker.
Oh God, here it starts.
Look at Charlemagne in chat.
I know, yeah, that's obscene.
I can't put that up.
He's been away from women for too long.
He's living out in the woods. Oh, here we go.
Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President, our First Lady and Second Gentleman, good to see you guys.
Second gentleman. God, we used to be a country.
Oh, that's him. Oh,
who is
that's
that
a beard
gnome
right there.
next to him?
Who's the gnome next to him? I don't know.
Next to the second lady or second gentleman or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, that woman. Did you see her?
I don't
That
know.
ghoul?
Oh, that's a guess. Maybe that's his mom.
By the way, Chief Justice, I may need a court order. She gets to go to the game tomorrow, next week. I have to stay home.
Ooh.
Oh, all right. I stand corrected on Biden's having a stroke.
Associate Justice.
All right, I'm going to turn up the volume just a little bit, but I don't. We got to keep commenting throughout this thing.
You know, I start tonight by congratulating the 118th Congress and the new Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that was the thing for 2 weeks. We covered the speakership debate with Turnip on the Old Glory Club if you're really interested.
Wait, is that facial paralysis and word slurring?
You
mean the same thing he's had for like 20 years?
I don't want to ruin your reputation, but I look forward to working with you.
No, that's an American flag on Biden.
I want to congratulate the new leader of the House Democrats, the first African-American minority leader in history,
boy.
Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah, Nancy stepped down. And so you know right now Tariq Nasheed is tweeting like, that guy ain't black. Oh, boy. But yeah, it's already started.
He won in spite of the fact I campaigned for him. Congratulations to the longest serving leader in the history of the United States Senate, Mitch McConnell. Where are you, Mitch?
Where are you, Cookie Mitch? Where are you, buddy? Oh, boy.
And congratulations to Chuck
Oh, he didn't
Schumer,
even stand up.
Another term.
Oh
as
my
a
gosh.
Senate
He has
minority leader.
a yellow tie.
I think you. This time you have a slightly bigger majority, Mr. Leader. You're the majority leader. About that much bigger? Yeah. Well, I tell you what. I want to give special recognition to someone who I think is going to be considered the greatest speaker in the history of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi.
What is that pin, by the way? Oh, it's Ukraine.
Yeah.
1870. What's that black 1870 pin? I'm not familiar with that. That the woman behind her was wearing.
The story of America is a story of progress and resilience, of always moving forward, of never, ever giving up.
Uh-oh.
It's a story unique among all nations. We're the only country that has emerged from every crisis we've ever entered stronger than we got into it. Look, folks, that's what we're doing again. 2 years ago, the economy was reeling.
Oh, we're starting with
I
the
stand
economy.
here tonight after
That's what he's got to
with the help
do.
of many people in this room. 12 million new jobs, more jobs created in 2 years than any president's created in 4 years because of you all. Because of the American
Really?
Now, some substantive commentary here.
2 years ago.
Okay.
Now
Here we'll do this then. What's the labor force participation
2
rate?
years ago.
It's all fine. Everything is fine. Do not look behind the curtain. Everything is fine.
Today, COVID no longer controls our lives. And 2 years ago, democracy faced its greatest threat to the Civil War. And today, though bruised, our democracy remains unbowed and unbroken.
Are we starting with J6 stuff off the bat?
Look at McCarthy
gosh.
nonplussed.
Oh, that's Cinema in the yellow with those Cruella de Vil shoulders.
Yeah, that's the one. She's going to fly away.
A story of progress and resilience. When world leaders ask me to define America, and they do, believe it or not, I can define it in one word, and I mean this.
World leaders ask the President of the United States to define his country.
Everything is
that wasn't like a big philosophical question. That was just making sure he was mentally competent. Like, hey, what country are you
But
from?
over the past 2 years, we proved the cynics and naysayers wrong. Yes, we disagreed plenty. And yes, there were times when Democrats went alone. But time and again, Democrats and Republicans came together to defend a stronger and safer Europe. It came together to pass one in a generation.
That's true, Kevin. Those were yellow floaties.
Infrastructure law, building bridges connecting our nation and our people. We came together to pass the most significant law ever, helping victims exposed to toxic burn pits. And in fact,
didn't we talk? We talked about this a year ago. Burn pits.
Well, I assume that has to do with
State of the Union.
It's a rerun.
It's a rerun.
What in the hell is
now
that?
that's
I signed over
that's
300
one of the blonde.
bipartisan pieces
I
of
think it's Ayanna
legislation since becoming president.
Wait,
We're
okay.
authorizing the Violence Against Women Act, the Electoral Count Reform Act, the Respect for Marriage Act that protects the right to marry the person you love. And to my Republican friends, if we could work together the last Congress, there's no reason we can't work together and find consensus.
We
on important
reenacted
things
the
in this
Violence
Congress
Against
as
Women
well.
Act.
It's all performative,
Yeah,
Oh, we did. The 2019, it was reauthorized in 2022. I'm so sorry to inform you guys, but violence against women is illegal now.
Fighting for the sake of fighting, power for the sake of power, conflict for the sake of conflict gets us nowhere. That's
Anyway,
always been my vision
Ukraine.
of our country, and I know it's many of yours. to restore the soul of this nation, to rebuild the backbone of America, America's middle class, and to unite the country. We've been sent here to finish the job, in my view. For decades,
What
the middle
job?
class has been hollowed out.
Finishing us all off.
I'm gonna finish the job. We're gonna finish America off.
Oh, you thought you were fucked before? Well, guess what? We're here to finish the job.
Once thriving cities and towns that many of you represent became shadows of what they used to be. Along the way, something else we lost.
Yeah, how's Gary, Indiana
Pride.
doing?
Our sense of self-worth.
Well, now that
You
Pete
know, I was-
Buttigieg is out, significantly better.
I
to make sure our
I
economy works for everyone.
almost booked an Airbnb in Gary, Indiana a couple of weeks ago. It was on sale for a great price. It must have been the nicest one in town.
Not from the top down.
Oh my
Because when the middle class
god.
does well, the poor have a ladder up, and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well.
Yeah, we like rich people doing well. That's good. Gets a standing ovation right there. And
Look at how dead his eyes are.
Oh my gosh.
Gee, have you ever seen someone as buck broken as Bernie Sanders?
Chapo Trap House, that was your boy.
It's about your dignity.
Oh my gosh.
It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. Well, folks,
He says that a lot to kids.
so let's look at the results.
Yeah, that's an easy
Any
joke.
stretch of imagination. But unemployment rate is at 3.4%, a 50-year low.
But how many people are out of the job market?
Near record,
But you see, I don't see this. Okay,
near record unemployment.
I mean, there you go.
you know, we're told there were 330,000 extra jobs added this quarter, and like my office just laid off half its staff. Where are these jobs?
The fastest
You know,
growth in 40
restaurants and
years.
things like that.
Yeah,
And
OnlyFans.
they're all
booming.
retailer service jobs. I mean, Dell just announced that they're going to lay off 6,000 people.
Yeah,
Read the word
5%.
manufacturing. I don't know where that's written. For too many decades, we imported projects and exported jobs. Now, thanks to what
Imported
you've all done,
projects
we're
and
exporting
exported
American
jobs.
products and creating American jobs.
Oh,
Folks,
Yeah, Charlemagne, didn't they just lay
yeah,
off?
they did.
exactly.
Like,
inflation has been
Well, you
It's
know,
not
there
just
is
tech
this.
either.
Yeah, there is a possible tech is being overreported. So that is a fair point.
Ukraine,
uh-oh, here we go. Here's
disrupted
the Ukraine.
energy
Yeah.
supplies as well as food supplies, blocking all that grain in Ukraine. But we're better positioned than any
I've been
country
talking
on
about
earth
that
right
since
now.
the war began.
But we have more to do. But here's
Yeah.
the
The Treasury
We've
Secretary
got
is like,
Dobby sitting over there
gas prices down
asking for a
$1.50
sock.
from their peak. Food inflation is coming down, not fast enough.
Janet
but coming
Yellen's
down.
like, oh God,
Inflation
don't
has
pick me.
fallen
Don't
every
call out
month.
on me.
For the
Don't
last
look
6
at me,
months,
please.
While take-home pay has gone up. Additionally, over the last 2 years, a
Take-home
record
pay has
10
gone up,
million
but
Americans
still,
applied to
over
start
half
new
of
businesses.
Americans
10
do
million.
not have an extra $1,000 to
By
cover an
the way,
emergency expense.
Every time
Oh my lord.
someone starts a small business is an act of hope. And Madam Vice President, I want to thank you.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
leading that effort to
After
ensure that small
COVID,
businesses
right?
have
It's an
access
act of
to
hope.
capital. And the
Jeez,
historic
this is
laws
grim.
we enacted that are going to just come into being. Standing here last year, I shared with you a story of American genius and possibilities.
Oh man.
Semiconductors, small computer chips the size of a fingerprint. that
Oh,
power
the
everything
one decent
from
looking
cell
man in
phones
this
to
entire
automobiles
building.
and so much more. These chips were invented in America. Let's get that straight. They were invented in America. We used to make 40% of the world's chips.
Oh man.
In the last several decades, we lost our edge. We're down to only producing 10%.
This sounds like a Trump
We all
speech.
saw what happened during the pandemic when chip factories shut down overseas. Today's automobiles need 3,000 chips.
It sounds like a
No,
Trump speech,
Charlemagne, I
but-
don't think he's
but-
wearing eyeshadow. I think he's
American automobiles couldn't
black
make
like
enough cars
you.
because there weren't enough chips.
When Donald Trump talks about chips, he means potato chips, though.
So did everything.
I mean,
from
we did used to be
refrigerators
the
cell
world's
phones.
leading, like,
We can
majority
never let that
producer of
happen again.
semiconductors in this
That's
country.
why-
Yeah.
Of
Now,
the world.
this is
That's why we
if you know
came
if
together
this is one of
to
the
pass the
possible real
Bipartisan
Biden wins is we're
Science Act.
onshoring chip production. You know, if he follows through on it, it could just be hot air.
If he follows through on like domestic chip manufacturing, that is a game changer on both domestic and foreign policy.
I know I've been criticized for saying this, but I'm not changing my view. We're going to make sure the supply chain for America begins in America. The supply chain begins in America.
Who criticizes you for this?
Yeah, I was about to say this seems like an all good things, no bad things speech, right? It's like
Well, he means it after this last week of drama.
Yeah, that's true.
New manufacturing jobs without this law, before the law kicks in.
I'm surrounded by those kind of
this new law,
plants,
we're gonna create
Charlemagne.
hundreds of
So
thousands of
yeah,
new jobs across the country. I mean, all across the country, throughout not just the coast, but through the middle of the
Texas
country as
Instrument
well.
sauce.
That's going to come from companies that have announced more than $300 billion in investment in American manufacturing over the next few years. Outside of Columbus, Ohio, Intel is building semiconductor factories.
Yeah, because we just
1,000
passed
acres.
what the
Literally a
American
field of
Chips
dreams.
Act.
It's going to create 10,000 jobs, that one investment.
We're going to hire
7,000
so many
construction
Indians.
jobs.
Yeah, I was about to say,
3,000
think about all
jobs
the
in
incredibly
those
happy
factories once they're
Guatemalans.
finished. They call them factories. Jobs paying
I
an
can't just,
average of
you know, there's going to be some
$130,000 a
foreman
year,
who's
and
keeping it
many
under
do not
wraps
require
about
a
some
college
Guatemalan
degree.
that's illegally here, who, you know, burned his hands together with a soldering. You know, it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, well, as someone who recently worked in a factory, that's basically all it is. It's probably like maybe 60% native-born Americans,
It's
you
just
know,
getting
of
started.
all stripes.
We're talking about
Think
working from
the new
home.
homes, the small businesses, the medium-sized businesses. So much more.
I can get behind that,
needed
Zanzibar.
to support those 3,000 permanent
My
jobs.
2080 Ti, you
And the
know, I'd
factories
love
that
an
are gonna be
upgrade.
built. Talk to mayors and governors, Democrats and Republicans, and they'll tell you what this means for their communities.
Yeah, what does it mean?
We're seeing these field of dreams transform to the heartland. But to maintain the strongest economy,
God, where's Bruce
I wanna know who wrote
Springsteen when
this.
you need him? This is Bruce Springsteen wrote it. That's
Field of Dreams in the heartland.
Ah, there he is.
Look at our gays.
Number one in the world in infrastructure. We've sunk to 13th in the world. The United States of America
40 acres in a
that's loud, man.
in the world in infrastructure, modern infrastructure. But now we're coming back because we came together and passed the bipartisan infrastructure law, the largest investment in infrastructure since President Eisenhower's interstate highway system.
And all those tens of billions of dollars in like Tiger Act loans and the American Reinvestment Act under Obama didn't do anything. I know way too much about infrastructure policy. We need Clossington on.
Projects, including major airports from Boston to Atlanta to Portland. Projects that are going to put thousands of people to work rebuilding our highways, our bridges, our railroads, our tunnels, ports, airports, clean water.
Isn't there?
high-speed
There's a
internet, all across America.
there's a
Urban,
major
rural,
rail artery right now that's totally shut down from like an explosion a couple of nights ago.
Yeah, in East Palestine, Ohio. Now it's a
It's a
controlled chemical fire that is spewing unknown toxic contaminants into the air.
Friends who voted for the law, and my Republican friends who voted against it as well. But I still get asked to fund the projects in those districts as well. But don't worry, I promised I'd be a president for all Americans. We'll fund these projects,
Oh,
and I'll see you at the groundbreaking.
oh man.
yeah. Look at that smile.
Look,
It's got that, like, you know, post-jab facial tick.
Yeah.
Look at the girth of that thing in the leopard skin behind whoever you're focusing on.
Oh, man.
Years ago, badly needed repairs. One of the nation's most
Jaybird
congested
and
freight
Fatty
routes,
Spotter.
carrying
That's all I can notice, honestly. I'm not even paying attention to this speech. I'm just in awe of the girth of these
We've been
people.
talking about fixing it for decades, but we're really finally going to get it done. I went there last month with Democrats and Republicans, and from both states, to deliver a commitment of $1.6 billion for this project.
Oh man.
And while I was there,
Yeah, why
I met
weren't you
a
there?
young woman named Sarah, who's here tonight. I don't know where Sarah is. Is she up in the box? I don't know. Sarah, how are you?
Oh,
Sarah,
of course.
For 30 years.
Look at those hands, man. Like, look at them. They're
She told me
huge.
a proud member of the Iron Workers Local 44, known as
Oh, we gotta get the union vote.
She's an iron worker.
We're so screwed.
What?
the
She works. She's an iron worker. Okay.
Built Cincinnati.
That girl standing next to her is hot.
Can't wait to be 10 stories above the Ohio River. Building that new
Sandbatch, I like how you're in my contribution to this. Effectively been either this is a ham beast or
Oh
she's
God,
hot.
there's the ham beast
Yeah.
behind. I just
That's the one I'm talking about. It's huge.
10 million homes in America. 400,000 school and child care centers.
Sarah John Henry.
Every child in America drink the water instead of having permanent damage to their brain. Look,
Oh no. No.
brain damage.
We're making sure that every community in America has access to affordable high-speed internet. No parent should have to drive by McDonald's parking lot to help them do their homework online with their kids, which many thousands.
Now that's a quote. That's a banger tweet, Mr. Biden.
And again, I get criticized for this, but I make no excuses for it. We're going to buy American. We're going to buy.
Oh my! What year is this?
I was gonna say, this is basically a Pat Buchanan speech.
And it's totally consistent with international trade rules.
Oh, that's what
Buy
matters.
America has been the law since 1933, but for too long, past administrations, Democrat and Republican.
Oh man.
Not anymore. Tonight, I'm announcing new standards that require all construction materials used in federal infrastructure projects to be made in America.
Hey, that's actually pretty
I'd
cool.
avoid bridges now.
Made in America.
wait, we still make pretty good steel.
Not if she's a steel worker.
Lumber, glass,
Miss Shaniqua, is there a reason that your steel was dangerously unsafe? I was on break.
American highways are going to be made with American products as well.
What do you mean?
Folks,
I didn't eat
My
breakfast this
economic
morning.
plan is about investing in places and people that have been forgotten. So many of you listening tonight, I know you feel
No
it.
one's listening tonight but us.
So many of you felt like you've just simply been forgotten. Amid the economic upheaval of the past 4 decades.
Mr. Biden.
Can we run that one back? What did he just say?
Biden.
You're invisible. Maybe that's you watching from home.
That's
Remember the
me.
jobs that went away. You remember them, don't you?
Yeah.
The folks at home remember them.
Joe Biden
You wonder
needs
whether
me.
the path even exists anymore
I'm his top
for your
guy.
children to get ahead.
That's it. I'm changing
Not having to move
teams.
away. Well, that's why I get that. That's why we're building an economy where no one's left behind. Jobs are coming back.
I read those Larry B.
Pride is coming
Jenkins
back.
novels. People do get left behind.
because choices we made in the last several years. You know, this is, in my view, a blue-collar blueprint to rebuild America, make a real difference in your lives at home. For example,
Wait, blue collar. What about those of us with email jobs?
staring at the ceiling.
This is weird. Do you think that this indicates some kind of shift from Biden of trying to like bring back
no, because
in?
he was like this a year ago.
No, he's been like this.
Oh, there he
all the time.
is.
Yeah. Oh.
What happens to you? What are you going to have? You get money to pay for those medical bills? Or are you going to have to sell the house or
Look
try
at
to get a
that
second
group
mortgage
looking.
on it? I get it. I get it. With the Inflation Reduction Act that I signed into law,
Oh,
we're taking on powerful interests to bring healthcare costs down so you can sleep better at night with more security. You know, we pay more for prescription drugs than any nation in the world.
oh
Let me
my
say it again.
gosh.
We pay
Nobody
more.
look at the corn lobby. It doesn't have anything to do with that massive diabetes rate.
For example,
Everything, almost
1 in
everything
10
we eat in
Americans
this
has
country has
diabetes.
corn.
many of you in this chamber do, and in the audience.
Oh my lord.
But every day, millions need insulin to control their diabetes so they can literally stay alive.
Oh, there he is.
Insulin's
Isn't he
been
that
around
senator
for
from
almost
Nebraska?
100 years.
No,
The guy who
Nebraska
invented it
is
didn't even
that
patent it because he
Ben
wanted it to be
Sass dude who
available
just
for everyone.
retired. Or is going
It
to
costs the
retire.
drug companies roughly $10 a vial to make that insulin. Packaging it all, you may get up to $13. But Big Pharma has been unfairly charging people hundreds of dollars, $400 to $500.
Yeah, Josh
a
Hawley's
month,
from Missouri.
making
It's another corn state.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
We gave him enough money with that vaccine.
There's Warnock. There's your senator. No, that's Georgia.
Rayfield?
We're against big pharma now.
So many things that we did are only now coming to fruition. We said we were doing this, and we said we passed the law to do it, but people didn't know because the law didn't take effect until January 1 of this year. We capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors on Medicare.
Well, that's good. I mean, like that's a guinea pig.
I mean, they just offloaded that on they just shifted the actuarial tables. Everybody else is just paying more now.
Look,
yeah,
there are millions of other Americans.
I mean, our taxes just went up, but
yeah,
including 200.
Bernie, masking is over.
God, he doesn't look good. I feel kind of bad for him.
Look at his eyes. There's no life left.
Let's cap the cost of insulin for everybody at $35.
Oh, so he wants a permanent cap for everybody.
I get my Adderall for $35.
Just your insulin, sir.
In other news, your Adderall is now $40.
Very well.
Yeah.
I promise you, they're going to do very well. This law also caps and won't even go into effect until 2025. Costs, out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors on Medicare.
Don't you love how every law that's ever passed by an administration always gets enacted after he leaves?
No matter how much your drug costs are. Because you know why? You all know it. Many of you, like many in my family,
of Arizona in the yellow dress.
You know the drugs can range from $10, $11, $14, $15,000 for the cancer drugs. If drug prices rise faster than inflation, drug companies are going to have to pay Medicare back the difference. We're finally.
This
is actually know a lot of.
I mean, no, really.
Bringing down.
Yeah, I got to pay it forward.
Bringing down.
What about millennials with ADHD? What about us?
It cuts.
Yeah. What about
what
about smokers?
By billions of dollars. By hundreds of billions of dollars. Because these prescription drugs are drugs purchased
this is our government
by Medicare to keep their commitment to the seniors. Well, guess what? Instead of paying $400 or $500 a month, you're paying $15. That's a lot of savings for the federal government. And by the way, why wouldn't we want that? Now, some members here are threatening, and I know it's not an official party position, so I'm not going to exaggerate, but threatening to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act. As my coach, that's okay. Yeah. That's fair.
See, this is what drives me crazy and why I don't actually follow a lot of like day-to-day politics. Is it's basically just, this is good. If you oppose me, you must be bad. And it's just like, why even bother?
There's a mystical power in the name of the bill. If you pass the Inflation Reduction Act, inflation goes down.
Yeah, right? You know, even though when they were at Davos, they were just like, oh, yeah, we passed the Climate Reduction Act, which is a green energy bill.
Now than ever in history. A record 16 million people are enrolled in the Affordable Care Act. And thanks to the law I signed last year.
Thanks, Obama.
Millions are saving $800 a year on their premiums. And by the way, that law was written and the benefit expires in 2025. So my plea to some of you, at least in this audience, let's finish the job and make these savings permanent.
Is he threatening seniors for their vote?
Basically. There's Kristen Sinema next to Mitt Romney.
She's
the
tweeting.
Couple everyone ships in Washington.
There's my representative. You're not looking so good.
The Act is also the most significant investment ever in climate change. Ever.
If you pass bill, line go up. That's absolutely true.
Bill.
You re-elect me or Granny dies.
Leading the world to a clean energy future. I visited the devastating aftermath of record floods, droughts, storms, and wildfires.
All right, can we pan back to the crowd? I want to see more of the dysgenic freaks that are watching this. I'm really bored.
Yeah, there's not enough freaks up already.
Helicopters than the entire state of Missouri. And we don't have global warming? Not a problem.
Missouri.
In addition to emergency recovery, from Puerto Rico to Florida to Idaho, we're rebuilding for the long term. New electric grids that are able to weather major storms and not prevent those forest fires. Roads and water systems in this big flood. Clean energy to cut pollution and create jobs in communities.
So is he
often
just
left
listing out all the
behind.
disasters
We're gonna
from
build
that one REM
500,000
song?
electric vehicle charging stations in
Effectively.
schools across the country.
He's gonna veer onto Orange Crush here in a minute.
And
Oh, he already lost his religion.
helping families save more than $1,000 a year with tax credits to purchase electric vehicles and efficient appliances,
boy.
energy efficient appliances. Historic conservation efforts to be responsible stewards of our
You know that
lives.
cat on Twitter, Eugipius or whatever, had a great thread about how this just isn't possible. Like, there's not enough lithium in the world,
Yeah.
you know, to do this.
We have an obligation, not to ourselves, but to our children and grandchildren to
Well,
confront
it very much is. Efficiency
I'm
is
proud
another
about
code word for
how
just it sucks more.
America-
You know,
Yeah.
like your efficiency
Yeah.
appliance is just worse.
We're
You know, and
Yeah.
it's like
still on gas
it's
for
a very
while.
convenient way to manage
Guess
decline.
what?
You know, like, oh, you know, your appliances don't suck more than your grandma's. They're just more efficient.
Much more to do.
Yeah,
You know,
I've tried
it
to
just-
flush. I've
Gotta finish
I've tried
it
to
down.
flush a toilet in Europe. I know what that's
We're
like.
increasing these investments for our future by finally making the wealthiest
But at
and
least we
biggest
did it.
corporations begin
We
to
have
pay
equality.
their
We have John Lennon's Imagine, and all it
That's
costs.
right. Look at
with
our
shitty
vice
appliances.
president, bro. Look at it. Look at our illegal Somalis, bro.
And that woman standing next to Jill is kind of cute.
Look, I'm a capitalist. I'm a capitalist, but pay your fair share.
I think she's probably like sick. Isn't she like Biden's like
I look,
granddaughter?
you know, leave it alone. I thought about that after. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Someone
It
can
is
clip
not
all the bro
fair.
moments from Sandbatch.
Look,
This has been surprisingly sparse on foreign policy.
that in 2020,
It's also been
55
surprisingly
of the largest
normal.
corporations in America,
You know, I was kind of
Fortune
hoping that there'd be something more
made
egregious.
$40 billion in profits.
Oh, he hasn't shit
and
himself
paid
yet.
zero
So I
in
mean,
federal taxes.
That you're aware of. Who knows? You could be on
That's
those like
true.
POTUS
It
style
depends.
It's simply not fair. But now, because of the law I signed, billion-dollar companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. God love them. 15%.
Elizabeth Warren's hair looks like
That's less
it's a
than
piece.
last pays.
It is.
Like, look at that wig. It's well done.
We still don't know about the crayons, so like the exciting
Oh, it's true. We
conclusion
got
has it.
education.
As long as I'm president, nobody earning less than $400,000 will pay an additional penny in taxes. Nobody, not one penny.
So yeah,
I don't
mean,
believe you.
we
I just
only
don't
had
believe
one,
him.
We had only one
There's
guest
more to
listed
do.
out. This speech is nowhere near done.
We have to reward work, not just wealth. Pass my proposal for the billionaire minimum tax. You know,
Billionaire
there's
minimum.
1,000 billionaires in America. It's up from about 600 in the beginning of the term. But no billionaire should be paying a lower tax rate than a school teacher or firefighter. Oh, I mean it. Think about it.
So why don't we just lower the? Never mind.
I mean,
Well, and this does go back to it's like, okay, well, technically, you know, like your taxes might not go up, but if the price of everything goes up, inflation goes up. It's like, well, guess what? You're still poor.
Jay Bird, none of that
Think
shit
about it.
matters. It's Washington.
have you
Yeah, you're right.
noticed-
Look, the economy's good. I said
They can lower
economy
the
good.
tax rate for regular people, but you know.
Last year they made $200 billion in the midst of a global energy crisis.
I hate his
I think it's
tie. Look at that
outrageous.
blue and yellow
I was
tie.
just trying to figure out why he's got the foreign hand knot going too. He's like
And when
60
I talked
years
to
too
people
old for that
who
knot.
were afraid you're going to shut down all the oil refineries anyway, so why should we invest in them? I said, we're going to need oil for at least another decade. And that's going to exceed and beyond that. We're gonna
Just a
need
decade?
production.
2033, no more oil.
If they had in fact invested in the production to keep gas prices down, instead,
Oh, it is. It's a Ukraine tie.
to buy back
Yeah,
their own
so I
stock,
said blue and yellow.
rewarding the CEOs and shareholders.
Mitch is just supporting the
Corporations ought to
University of
do the
Michigan.
right thing. That's why I propose we quadruple the tax on corporate stock buybacks and encourage long-term investments.
Are you going to outlaw that just before or just after the latest recession?
Let's finish the job and close the loopholes that allow very wealthy to avoid paying their taxes. Instead of cutting the
Just
number
finish
of
the
audits for
job
wealthy taxpayers,
nonsense.
I just signed a law to reduce the deficit by
Yeah, that's kind of an ominous, much like Build Back Better. Finish the job is kind of an ominous, statement.
I don't know what you call this supply side or whatever, but you know, my thought's like, okay, why don't we just instead of banning people from these profitable trade practices, why don't we just open them up to more people? Nobody will ever do that.
$7 trillion.
No.
The largest deficit reduction in American history. Under the previous administration, the American deficit went up 4 years in a row. Because those record deficits, no president
Because we
added
spent
more to the national debt
billions of
in
dollars
any
in
4 years of my
stimulus
predecessor.
in like 1
Nearly
year.
25% of the entire national debt.
Honestly, does anyone care about national debt anymore? It's just a fake number. It just
alone.
goes up forever.
Janet Yellen just looks like she's been through hell.
She looks bad, man.
She looks like she got out of a really rough meeting.
They did the right thing. They lifted the debt ceiling 3 times without preconditions or crisis. They paid American bills
There we go.
to prevent an economic
Alexa,
disaster
play the
recovery.
Halo theme.
So tonight I'm asking the Congress to follow suit. Let's commit here tonight to the full faith and credit of the United States of America will never,
Ugh.
ever be questioned. So
we keep raising the
some
debt
of my
ceiling.
Republican friends want to take the economy hostage. I get it, unless I agree to their economic plans. All of you at home should know what those plans are.
And he's got that like Kevin McCarthy's
Instead of
just doing
making
that.
the law-
Oh, there we go.
Oh my girl. She's not looking so good either, though. Like, you
mommies,
know,
I'm not saying it's the majority.
Jeez, this is embarrassing.
This is as British as it gets.
I know that was the Tory noise.
That's like
Look
the
at
last
her go. Oh my god, so glamorous.
big white coat.
I'm panting.
Oh, it's
I
impeaching.
tell you, I enjoy conversion.
The MAGA mommies are out tonight.
If Congress doesn't keep the programs the way they are, they'd go away. Other Republicans say
The MAGA
I'm not saying
milkers.
it's the majority. I don't think it's even a significant.
I'm sorry.
Proposed by individuals.
Please walk out. Make a
I'm
scene.
not politely not
Come on,
naming
So I hate-
what's being proposed.
I hate to say it. The worst part about her is she looks disturbingly like
Folks,
my high school soccer coach. Like disturbingly like him.
Marjorie?
Dress.
we're not
Yeah.
gonna-
Marjorie looks like every one of my friends' mothers.
I know, because she looks like a real battered Scotch Irish woman.
And it's like, yeah, it's like deploro chic is what's going on there.
Yeah. Oh,
So, folks, as we all apparently agree, Social Security and Medicare is off the books now, right? They're not to be stopped. All right.
MAGA milkers.
We got unanimity.
Oh my gosh.
Social Security and Medicare are a lifeline for millions of seniors. Americans have to pay into them from the very first paycheck they started. So tonight,
Yeah.
let's all agree, and we apparently are. Let's stand up for seniors.
Because they can't stand.
Stand up and show them. They'll not cut Social Security.
Fair. I can't even blame her for that.
Those benefits belong to the American people. They earned it. And if anyone tries to cut Social Security, which apparently no one's going to do, and if anyone tries to cut Medicare, I'll stop them. I'll veto it.
Oh boy.
And look, I'm not going to allow them to be taken away. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. But apparently it's not going to be a problem.
Not gonna be a
Next
problem here,
month,
folks.
when I offer my fiscal plan, I ask my Republican friends to lay down their plan as well. I really mean it. Let's sit down together and discuss our mutual plans together.
Oh boy.
Let's do that.
Bipartisanship. Yay. Let's get together.
I can tell you.
Maybe this was not the tactical move I thought it
Cut the
was.
deficit by another $2 trillion.
You're on the wrong stream
And
for
it
that,
won't cut
buddy.
a single bit of Medicare or Social Security. In fact, we're going to extend the Medicare Trust Fund at least 2 decades. Because that's going to be the next argument. How do we keep it solvent, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest. As someone
I'm
who
not
very
raise taxes
recently
when making
graduated
under
from business
400 grand,
school, Social Security has
We'll pay for it. the way
basically
we talked about
continuously
by
been
making
insolvent
sure
for
the
years.
wealthy
Like, not
people
officially, but
pay their
basically
share.
everyone knew it was a
Look,
shell game.
Look,
As long as
Yeah.
I've been alive, I've heard something about Social
They're not just
Security
taking
going
advantage of the
insolvent
tax code.
sooner and sooner
They're
and
taking
sooner.
advantage of the American
Oh yeah, I think
consumer.
the current number is like
Here's my
2030 or
message to all of you out
2035. Like
I remember
there's
it
just
being
not enough money.
2023.
We're already preventing
Yeah, you're
Americans
probably
from
right, to be
receiving
honest.
surprise medical bills. Stopping $1 billion surprise bills per month so far. We're protecting seniors' life savings by cracking down on nursing homes that commit fraud, endanger patient safety.
Now, what kind of fraud are we
drugs that
talking
not
about,
needed.
Joe? Because there's a lot of
Millions
ballot
of
harvesting
Americans
in
can now
nursing
save
homes.
thousands of dollars because they can finally get a hearing aid over the counter without a prescription.
There we go.
Look,
Did I disappear for a minute?
Yes, you did.
capitalism.
I crashed my browser. Sorry.
Competition
Oh,
is not
that happens.
capitalism. It's extortion. It's exploitation. Last year, I cracked down with the help of many of you on
Exploitation,
foreign
let's
shipping
go.
companies that were making you pay higher prices for every good coming into the country. I signed a bipartisan bill that cut shipping costs by 90%.
AJ,
helping
we need to
American
invade
farmers,
Canada to save
businessmen, and
Social
consumers.
Security.
Let's finish the job. Pass the bipartisan legislation to strengthen antitrust enforcement.
What?
And prevent big online platforms from giving their own products an
Oh my
unfair
gosh.
advantage.
Oh, I wonder where that's going to go. I'm wondering if he's going to signal like anti-Elon action. I'm curious.
Yeah, we haven't talked about
Administration
tech
is
at all.
also taking on junk fees. Those hidden surcharges too many companies use to make you pay more. For example, we're making airlines show you the full ticket price up front.
So we've
refund your
gotten
money if your flight is
reindustrialization,
canceled or delayed.
some economic
We reduced
populism,
Exorbitant bank overdrafts
nothing good here.
by saving
Going
consumers
after
more
big
than $1
airlines.
billion a year. We're cutting credit card
Look, until
late
he like
fees
does something about
by
JetBlue, I don't care.
75% from $30
Hey, I
to
flew
$8.
JetBlue like a week and a half ago. It was excellent. I have no complaints.
You are God's strongest contrarian.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to conflict with his large support base among Spirit Airlines Americans.
They make it harder for you to pay your bills or afford that family trip. I know how unfair it feels when a company overcharges you and gets away with it. Not anymore.
I think it's really unfair when, you know, fellow passengers beat the shit out of me on the.
What about when the government overcharges me? What about when the government overcharges me and gets away with it? You know,
cost up to $90 a night at hotels that aren't even resorts.
Joe, that's pretty funny.
The cable, internet, and cell phone companies can charge you $200 or more if you decide to switch to another provider. Give me a break.
It's called a contract, right?
We can stop service fees on tickets to concerts and sporting events and make companies disclose all
Also,
the fees up front.
how do you get over like
and we'll
secretly or
airlines from
you know
charging $50
overcharged for a flight?
Wait a second. This is him trying to appeal to millennials. It's just like millennial gibberish GPT.
Americans are tired of being. We're tired of being played for suckers.
See, this is interesting because so far, like the two, like the devil on one side of Biden's shoulder is his like core of like, you know, extremely online millennials. And then we haven't seen much of the other side, which is the neocons. So I'm curious when the you know, when the Ukraine talk, when the foreign intervention talk is going to make a comeback.
Until 2 years ago, 30 million workers have to sign non-compete agreements with the jobs they take. 30 million.
Okay.
So a cashier at a burger place can't walk across town and take the same job at another burger place and make a few bucks more. It just changed.
Hold on. Why are we aspiring to work at burger places, Jim?
But not
Where do you think all those jobs came from?
Yeah.
So companies have to compete for workers and pay them what they're worth.
Just wait a second. Okay, chat. Do any of you work in burger places? And do any of you guys have to sign non-complete clauses? I have to know.
This is bound to get a response from my friends.
My wages in
on
chat,
my
please
left
tell
with
me.
the right. I'm so sick and tired of companies breaking the law by preventing workers from organizing. Pass the PRO
Right,
Act,
thank you, Grove City.
because business have a right. Workers have a right to form a union.
Jimmy
Yeah,
John has a non-compete in some places.
And let's
Okay.
guarantee all workers have a
Interesting.
living wage. Let's make sure working parents can afford to raise a family with sick days, paid family medical leave, affordable child care. That's going to enable millions of more people to go and stay at work. And let's restore the full child tax credit, which gave tens of millions of parents some breathing room and cut child poverty in half to the lowest level in history. And by the way, when we do all these things, We increase productivity. We increase economic growth. So let's finish the job.
Yeah, in chat, they're just bringing up, didn't he just bust a big railway union action? Like, wasn't he just involved in that?
Twice.
Yeah, he did break up
Twice.
a railway
Let's
strike.
give more
2
breathing
in
room
6
to
months.
millions of family caregivers
Well,
looking after
you know,
their loved ones.
we gotta allow
Damn, he's making
burger
Reagan
union
look like a pussy.
So we get seniors and people with disabilities, the home care and services
based
they
in
need.
Thatcher-pilled Biden.
Support the workers who are doing God's work.
Oh, God's work.
These plans are fully paid for and we can afford to do them. Restoring the dignity of work means making education. an
Nicto,
affordable
he's
ticket to the
doing
middle
finish the
class.
job because he knows that
You know,
that
when
can
we
be a
made
hashtag
public
on Twitter.
education, 12 years of it, universal.
See, this is the millennial like drama
that-
kid
We made
Who is
part of
best
his
that?
cabinet.
educated,
That
best
punchy,
paid, we became the best
frumpy
educated,
white
best paid
woman.
nation
Was that
in the world.
Elise Stefanik or whatever?
The rest of the world's
I
caught
don't know,
up.
but I think I can fix
Caught
her.
up. My wife, who teaches full time, has an expression. I hope I get it right, kid. Any nation that out educates us is going to outcompete us. Any nation out educates is going to outcompete us.
That is Biden's
Folks, we all know
granddaughter,
12
Sandbatch.
years of education.
Let's also acknowledge
is
how
not enough
weird it
to
is
win
he
the
calls his
economic
wife kid,
competition of the
given
21st
his
century.
predilections.
I thought for a minute he was when he's like any country that out educates us. I thought he was good building the case for bombing schools overseas, and I thought that was.
We already do that.
3 and 4 years old. Studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school and go on to earn a 2 or 4 year degree, no matter their background they came from.
Joe Biden pulling
Let's
in
give
Elaine
public school
Stritch
teachers a
moment. You'll never
raise.
be a kid.
I just
again,
got
kiddo.
somebody in your chat just called me the fill-in Geo. I don't know how I feel about that.
I love it,
We're making progress.
but you're not as bad as.
Geo in chat. Joe
Working
cut
class
10 to
families.
12 years ago.
Let's finish the job.
Jeez, man, come on.
And connect students to career opportunities starting in high school. Provide access to 2 years of community college. The best career training in America in addition to
No,
being-
that is not a high compliment. It's easier to say who Geo wouldn't. It takes less time.
It's
Whether
easier
they
to say
go
who
to
Geo
college
wouldn't.
or not.
You're right.
And folks, in the midst of the COVID crisis, when schools were closed and we were shutting down everything,
We were shutting it all down.
It all got quiet.
Yeah.
Remember COVID,
While the
guys?
virus is not gone, thanks to the resilience of the American people and the ingenuity of medicine, we've broken the COVID grip on us. COVID deaths are down by 90%. We've saved millions of lives.
So we've
and
all been
opened up
exposed to it.
our country. We opened our country back up, and soon we'll end the public health emergency.
Wait, it's not ended yet?
No,
Yeah,
he
what's like
extended
a-
it right before the election.
Huh. I'm actually surprised by that. I honestly thought it was already done.
It's never going to go away.
That's right.
More than 1 million Americans lost their lives to COVID. 1 million. Families grieving. Children orphaned.
Yeah, and some of our friends couldn't even
Empty
see their
chairs at the dining room
parents
table
and
constantly
grandparents die
reminding you.
because of it.
That she used to sit there.
But weren't they just telling us like a
Remember
week
that.
ago the new variant
vigilant.
is worse than
We still
ever?
need to monitor dozens of
Which was
variants
worse than
and
the other
support new
variants, which
vaccines
were
and
also
treatments.
worse than the previous
So Congress
variants.
needs to fund these efforts and keep
Yeah, is this
America
the second
safe.
winter of like death and
And as
suffering
we
we were
emerge from
promised?
this crisis stronger, we're also got to double down on prosecuting criminals who stole relief
Good.
money meant to keep workers and small businesses.
We're going to prosecute those criminals.
That means they're not gonna prosecute those criminals. There's too many certain voting based gentlemen that took all that money and ran with it.
Before I came to office, you remember, during that campaign, the big issue was about inspector generals who would protect taxpayers' dollars who were sidelined. They were fired.
Wait, was
Many
that
people said we
the
don't
big
need
issue of
them.
2020?
Really?
And fraud became
I don't even
rampant.
remember 2020.
Last year, I told you the watchdogs
2020
are
was
back.
wild.
Since then, we've recovered billions of taxpayers' dollars. Now let's triple the anti-fraud strike force going after these criminals, double the statute of limitations on these crimes, and crack down on identity fraud by criminal syndicates stealing billions of dollars from the American people.
Joe, just declare war on the cartels,
And
man.
the data showed that for every dollar we put into fighting fraud, the
Look at these-
taxpayers get back at least
I don't
10
know. I'm
times
just
as
going to leave
much.
that alone.
It matters. It matters. Look,
An
COVID left the
anti-fraud
scars.
strike force.
like the spike in violent crime in 2020.
That's what I'm just hearing out of the
the
president's
first year of the
mouth.
pandemic.
Oh, here comes the gun stuff.
We have an
Oh.
obligation to make sure all people are safe.
Here we go.
Public safety depends on public trust, as all of us know. But too often that
Talking
trust is
about policing.
violated. Joining us tonight are the parents,
Mm,
Tyree
Yep.
Nichols.
Yep.
Welcome.
Woof.
Is this the Memphis guy?
Oh my gosh, there's a father in the picture.
We don't
That's
know
a
that for
Christmas
time is
sure.
miracle.
We don't know that for sure.
I had to bury Tyree last week. As many of you personally know, there's no words to describe the heartache or grief of losing a child. But imagine if you lost that child at the hands of the law. Imagine
He fought the
having to
law and
worry
the
whether
law
your son or
won.
daughter came home from walking down the street, playing in the park, or just driving a car. Most of us in
Oh
here
my gosh.
have never had to have the talk that brown and black parents have had to have with their children. Bo,
No,
Hunter,
we have
Ashley,
a
my
much different
children,
talk.
we never had to have a talk.
Stay the fuck
We never
away
had to
from
tell them if a police officer pulls you over, turn your interior lights on right away. Don't
Hey, that's good advice.
I was about to say, that's just normal person advice. I don't even like
Yeah.
cops that much, but like,
Turn the lights on, hands at 10 and 2.
Hold
and
on.
keep 'em up.
Joe's giving us the talk.
Here's what Tyree's mother shared with me when I spoke
just
to her.
don't run.
I asked her how she finds the courage to carry on and speak out. The faith of God, she said her son was, quote, a beautiful soul.
Like,
something
look,
good
if you're a
will come of
cop
this.
and you don't live in Mayberry, it ain't worth it.
Imagine
Yeah,
how
I know,
much
really,
courage
man.
and
I
courage
mean,
that takes.
I don't understand who's still in that
It's up
game.
to us, to all of us. We all want the same thing.
Yeah, again, I learned
The
this in
extreme
driver's ed.
violence
Yeah.
of the First
This is the
Amendment.
talk. This is the talk that we've been hearing about for years.
Just as
It
every
doesn't
cop
sound
with
so
a pin on that
secret.
badge in the morning has a right to be able to go home at night. So does everybody else out there.
Beautiful soul
Our
that
children
robbed me.
have a right to come home safely. Equal protection under the law is a covenant.
Who in the world?
A covenant.
I like
Oh,
that's the
look,
best.
look at that
the
language.
That was the best cane that has been in
Police officers
that
put
No,
August
the best
chamber.
cane in that
Yeah,
chamber was used.
there
to
you
be
go.
able to
We
win.
ask them in many
There you
cases to
go.
do too much to be counselors, social workers, psychologists, responding to drug overdoses, mental health crises, and so much more.
Yeah, I'm curious if he's going to bring up
One
the
sense we
fentanyl
ask
problem,
too much
because I know
of it.
that's gotten improbable,
most
like even
cops and their
even
families
I
are
worse.
just saw an
Good,
these past
article
years.
honorable
today
people,
about
the
like
vast
a
majority.
14-year-old boy who just like died of a
They
fentanyl
risk-
overdose.
Jeez.
Yeah, best cane since 1854.
And they risk their lives.
I want to
Finish
recognize
the
Jake.
fight, and we're talking about the covenant, what it means.
But what happened to Tyree in Memphis happens too often. We have to do better.
He was
Give
targeted
law
by the
enforcement
cops,
the
though.
real training they need.
Like 5 black
Hold
men
them to
went
higher
after him.
standards. Help them succeed in keeping us safe.
Wait, we have to hold them to higher
We need more
standards.
first responders
Hmm.
and professionals to address the growing mental health,
But they
substance
fired all the
abuse
white
challenges.
cops.
More resources, reduce violent crime and gun crime.
Oh,
More community intervention programs. More
So,
investment in housing, education.
more
and
of
job
2020,
training.
more entitlements.
Mr. Floyd, have you considered not pointing a gun at a pregnant woman, or maybe just a little less? You know, we want to intervene as a social worker here.
When police departments violate the public trust, they must be
It's
held
like the
accountable.
Troy meme. It's like, why don't you just use a regular $20 bill?
With the support-
That's why no one will remember your name.
With the support
Oh,
of the families of victims, civil rights groups, and law enforcement, I signed an executive order
uh-oh.
for all federal officers, banning chokeholds, restricting no-knock warrants, and other key elements of the George Floyd Act.
New
Let's
WWE
commit
rules
ourselves
just
to make
dropped.
the words of Tyler's mom true. Something
World
good
Star
must
rules have
come
been
from
updated.
this. Something good.
So again, I'm not the hugest
And all of us.
cop guy in the world, but You do realize that by banning chokeholds, you are essentially decreasing the amount of options between just a general like pleasant arrest and just shooting someone.
Yeah, now
Yes.
the shooting him just became a better bet. Oh, I changed angles. Biden looks better from this angle.
You
Folks, it's
changed
difficult, but
angles.
it's simple.
Although to be honest, if they actually do
All
ban
of
no
us
knocks, that's probably a good
need
thing.
to rise to this moment.
Geo.
Can't turn away. Let's do what we know in our hearts.
Like
We
all the,
need to
you're
do-
absolutely right.
Let's come together to finish the job on
If
police
we
reform.
get rid of all other
Do
like
something.
martial means to police, it
something.
just means shoot them.
That was the plea of parents who lost
But
their
they
Well,
probably
again,
know
like-
this
I met
already.
with every one of
Yeah,
them.
again, that's assuming that they
Do
actually
something
want to
about
solve
gun
these problems.
violence. Thank God. Thank God we did. Passing the most sweeping gun safety law in 3 decades.
Yeah, we did.
What actually was the change? Because I follow these things pretty closely, and I don't remember what they actually passed.
Enhanced background
I know it
checks for
changed
18
to
Oh.
something with how like
Red
FFL's
flag laws,
process forms,
keeping
but other than
guns out
that,
of
I'm
the
not
hands of
sure.
People who are a danger to themselves
I don't
and
know.
others. But we know
Was it
our
mental
work
health
is
stuff?
not
I can't
done.
remember.
Join us tonight
Uh-oh,
is
here we go.
Brandon Say, a 26-year-old hero. Brandon
There's
put his
Bono.
college dreams on hold.
Oh, yeah, he's right next to
be at his
Bono.
mom's side. His mom's side when she was dying from cancer.
Oh, I'd be really careful. It's an Asian guy right next to the other family. Oh, it's pistol braces. Thanks, Charlemagne.
Yeah,
See, I thought that was the ATF. I didn't think he actually passed that. Is that just what he's referring to, or?
I think
I
so.
think
2
so.
weeks ago,
Oh, okay, I see.
during
No,
the
George saying
Lunar
that it's
New
not
Year
Elliot Rush.
celebrations, you heard the studio door close. You saw a man standing there pointing semi-automatic pistol at him. He thought he was going to die. But he thought
Which
about
one
You
of
know
the
how
Asian
hard it
shooters
is to
is
get
he-
a hold of an automatic
in that
handgun
instant,
in
he
this
found
country?
the courage to act
Yeah, really.
and wrestled a semi-automatic pistol away from the gunman
Semi-automatic.
who had already killed 11 people in another dance studio. 11.
Is this the
saved
Asian like 70-year-old
yeah,
dude?
Yeah, it's the Asian
It's
guy.
time
that-
we do the
Okay.
same.
Shooter.
Banned assault weapons now.
Wait a second.
Man, that was out of
Assault weapons,
nowhere.
Semi-automatic handgun.
Well, they're
Oh,
also already banned
Oh,
in
no,
California.
Lauren looks so sad.
Yeah, poor Miss
We had
Bober.
the fight to do that in 1994. In
Oh.
10 years.
As
that
opposed
ban
to the
on
bolt
mass
action
shootings went
pistol.
down. After we let it expire in the Republican administration, mass shootings tripled. Let's finish the job and ban these assault weapons. And let's also come together on immigration.
Wow, we went from
yeah.
weapons to immigration.
It's
Real
like
quick.
it's a chat GPT wrote this speech.
Yeah, this
We
is
know
assault
we now
weapons,
have a
like,
record
you know,
number of
like,
personnel
exactly,
working to
Connor,
secure the
like the
border,
Glock or the
arresting
1911.
8,000 human
The
smugglers,
assault pistol.
seizing over 23,000 pounds of fentanyl in just the last several months.
A lot of
We've
fentanyl.
launched a new border plan last month. Unlawful migration from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela has come down 97% as a consequence of that.
Who's
But
this
American
guy that
border
they keep
problems
focusing on?
won't be fixed until Congress acts. If we don't pass my comprehensive immigration reform,
Cuban Clyde, semi-automatic immigration.
Oh no, it's just automatic now. It's assault immigration.
and a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, those
Uh-oh.
on temporary status, farm workers, essential workers. Here in the People's House,
Anytime
our
that they
duty to
announce new gun
protect
stuff
all the
anyways,
people's
gun
rights and
sales
freedoms.
always increase.
Congress
What are
must
the
restore
dreamers?
right.
Or we're going to be living with these people forever, aren't they? They've been a political meme for like 20 years now.
Yeah.
Congress must restore the right that was taken
And what's
away.
worse is that like Obama's
Roe v.
DACA
Wade, and
policy only
protect Roe
affected
v.
like the
Wade.
tiniest percentage of them.
Yeah, Matt the Cat. Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua down by 95%. Any other countries? Yeah, exactly.
No.
To protect access to reproductive health care and safeguard patient
Like I
safety.
remember in high school in El
Already
Paso, they
more than
had
a
like
dozen states are
DACA
enforcing
advocates
extreme
come talk to
abortion bans.
dreamers, and it
Make
only
no
applied to
mistake
like
about
one
it.
person in that
If
entire
Congress passes a
auditorium.
national ban, I will veto it. But let's also pass the Bipartisan Equality Act to ensure LGBTQ Americans,
Ah,
especially
big
transgender
homo.
young people, can live
Oh,
with
it's
safety
gay
and
time.
dignity. Our strength
Big homos in the town, in the house. Oh, our first bisexual senator.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
The power of our example. Let's
Don't
remember the
weep for
world's
me,
watching.
Arizona.
I spoke in this chamber 1 year ago, just days after Vladimir Putin unleashed his brutal attack
Oh,
against
here we go.
Here we go.
a murderous assault, evoking images of death and destruction Europe suffered in World War II. Putin's invasion has been a test for the ages, test for America, a test for the world. Would we stand for the most basic of principles? Would we stand for sovereignty? We stand for the right of people to live free of tyranny? Will we stand for the defense of democracy? For such defense matters to us because it keeps peace and prevents open season on would-be aggressors.
Chat, oh my God.
Yeah. Thank you, Cringe Walker.
We know the answer. Yes, we would, and we did. We did. And together, we did what America always does at our best. We led. We united NATO. We built a global coalition. We stood against Putin's aggression. We stood with the Ukrainian people. Tonight, we're once again joined by Ukrainian's ambassador to the United States. She represents not her nation.
That's a man.
No, they picked the best person to be the ambassador to the United States. They found the fattest Ukrainian.
That's a Ukrainian?
You stand so we
They're supposed to be cute.
Well, before they hit the wall. Afterwards, they turn into just Russian nesting dolls.
That's a Slavic woman to hit the wall.
We're going to stand with you. As long as
Who is that horrible racial stereotype next to her?
That dude's wearing a hat inside.
Oh, that dude's straight out of Brooklyn.
Not just in
I was about to say, I think that dude is always wearing a hat, just not that one.
Office, the story was about how the People's Republic of China was increasing its power. And America was failing in the world. Not anymore.
Yeah, mail order wife to babushka. 30
we
seconds.
made clear, and I made in my personal conversations, which have been many, with President Xi.
Gio, you're better than
that
this.
we seek competition, not conflict. But I will make no apologies that we're investing to make America stronger.
No,
Investing in American innovation and industries will define the future that China intends to be dominating. Investing in our alliances and working with our allies to protect advanced technologies
Kevin McCarthy,
so they will not be used against us.
Modernizing
our military
like a
to safeguard stability and deter aggression. Today, we're in the strongest position in decades to compete with China or anyone else in the world. Anyone else in the world. And I'm committed.
They don't look convinced.
You think those dudes have won a war?
I'm committed to work with China where we can advance American interests and benefit the world, but make no mistake about it.
Oh,
As we
buddy.
made clear last
That's
week,
like
if
a
China
big
threatens our sovereignty,
chunk of this foreign
we
policy.
will act to protect our country, and we did. Look,
Oh, man.
let's be clear. Winning the competition should unite all of us. We face serious challenges across the world. But in the past 2 years, democracies have become stronger, not weaker. Autocracies have grown weaker, not stronger. Name me a world leader who changed places with Xi Jinping. Name me one. Name me one.
What is...
America's rallying the world to meet those challenges.
He has always done this. This like random loud
security to terrorism.
But that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it never. Like you go back to you go back to 1992, and he just breaks out in these random nonsensical loud
and those
exclamations.
who bet against America are learning how wrong they are. It's never ever been a good bet to bet against America. Never.
No, never bet against America.
They look at us and laugh.
Name
There's
me
Lloyd
one.
Austin.
Is that Meatloaf?
Oh boy, you got one. We got a bingo, guys. We got the USA chant.
Bipartisanship assumed was impossible, but never believed it. That's why a year ago I offered a unity agenda to the nation as I stood here. We made real progress together. We passed a law making it easy for doctors to prescribe effective treatments for opioid addiction. We passed
Oh my
the
gosh.
gun
that
safety
blow-
law making
wait, he
historic
did ask
investments
me.
in mental health. We launched the ARPA-H drive for breakthrough in the fights against cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes, and so much more.
All these
We
breakthroughs
passed
that need to keep Joe
the
Biden
Heath
alive.
Robinson
That's going to say Joe
Iraq
Biden's,
War
he's
veterans
invested
with
heavily.
exposure to toxic burn kits. I shared
Do you think
here
we're going to
last
see
year.
that?
That moonshot program was to keep his ass alive, not his son.
Jesus. Do you think we're going to see that that trans health official Rachel Levine? Do you think she's going to make
understand
he
something
is
about
going to make
these
an appearance?
benefits.
We
There's
I
might
haven't
have
something
already,
we can do.
we might have already seen it.
We can do it together.
It's difficult
what-
to tell in this
Tonight,
room of
Father named
absolute
Doug
units.
from Newton, New Hampshire.
Uh-oh.
He wrote Jill, my wife, a letter, and
Newton,
me as
New
well.
Hampshire.
It was a
about
steamy
her
letter.
courageous daughter, Courtney. Contagious laugh, his sister's best
It was a
friend,
letter that
her
would have made
sister's best
Gio
friend.
blush.
He shared a story all too familiar to millions of Americans and many of you in the audience. Courtney discovered pills in high school. He
Pill?
spiraled into addiction.
Yeah, get in line.
Eventually
I'll pay my
death from a
$35 bucks.
overdose. She was just 20 years old.
I pay my taxes.
Describing the last 8 years without her
To
Doug said,
quote John D,
There's
at least
no
have the dignity
worse
to do
thing.
heroin like a real man.
"With the families turned paid to purpose, working to end the stigma and change laws. He told us he wants to start a journey toward American recovery.
Oh, I
Doug,
mean,
we're with
the
you.
opioid crisis is
Fentanyl is killing more than
ridiculously bad.
70,000 Americans a year.
Pfizer.
Border.
Pfizer. Yeah.
Border. Ooh, let's go. Let's go.
You don't know Jack. You don't know Jack. Hey, Jack.
You
So
lie.
launched
outside.
a major surge to stop fentanyl production.
Gio, I'll write a letter to Jill too.
More drug detection machines, inspection
Gio,
programs,
you
stop
need to be
pills
the
and
E-right
powder.
strongest soldier and cuck Joe Biden. Take one for the team.
Working with couriers like FedEx.
Gio loses his virginity by cucking the president of the United States.
That's an undeniable Chad move.
Crack down on fentanyl trafficking. Second, let's do more on mental health, especially for our children. When millions of young people are struggling with
No.
bullying, violence, trauma, we give them greater access to mental health care at their schools. We must finally hold
More
social media
violence and
companies
bullying in our
accountable
schools. Yeah,
for
I saw what happened
experimenting
on
they're
that school
doing
bus.
running children for profit.
You mean those two white
Time
kids?
to pass bipartisan legislation.
You mean that article
to
written by that
stop
black
big
woman?
tech from collecting personal data on
This really
kids.
is just like pure
And
therapeutic
teenagers
state
online.
stuff, right? Like therapy forever,
Ban
therapy for
targeted
everyone.
advertising to children.
Therapy
And impose
forever. You
stricter
can stay on your
limits
parents' health
on
care
the personal
forever.
data that companies collect on all of us. Third, let's do more to keep this nation's one truly sacred obligation to equip those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home. Job training, job placement for veterans and their spouses as they come to return
Every
to civilian
president
life.
has said this since World War
Helping
II.
veterans afford the rent because no one should be homeless in America, especially someone who served the country.
Who are all these guys?
Dennis McDonough is here.
McDonough. Irish
We had our
legacy
first
vote.
real discussion when I asked him to take the job. I'm glad he did. We were losing up to 25 veterans a day on suicide. Now we're losing 17 a day to the silent scourge of suicide. 17 veterans a day are committing suicide.
I guess we're down from
More
22
than
a
all
day.
the people being killed in
We're
the war.
running out of veterans.
Yeah.
Folks, VA is doing everything it can, including expanding
You mean telling people to
mental
wait
health
in line
screening.
and die?
proven programs that recruits veterans.
What do you think
help
is
other
the
veterans
timeline
understand what they're going through,
to Canadian
get the
style
help they
healthcare here?
need.
You know, like have you considered
Oh,
just killing
dude.
yourself?
That's already
And
happening.
fourth,
We will see it in the
Last year,
Pacific
Jill
Northwest.
and I reignited the cancer
Yeah.
moonshot that I was able to start with President Obama asked me to lead our
This
administration.
is just grim. This isn't even funny.
Our goal is to cut the
You know,
cancer
like,
I know
there's part of me
it's-
that hopes this would be fun, but
release
geez.
by 50%.
It's become hard to be jokey. It's gotten quite
More
dark.
cancers from death sentences to
But everything's
more
fine,
diseases.
guys. America always comes
Provide
back.
more support for
We're doing
victims
it.
and their
We're winning.
families.
I have,
Everything's great.
however,
Personal to
I
so
have
many of
decided
us.
that Gio and I
So
think
many
too
of us
similarly, and
So,
Morris
in
and
case Gio ever
Candice,
gets sick, you're the
an
fill-in
Irishman and the
Gio.
daughter of immigrants from Panama. They met and fell in love in New York City and got married in the same
It's like that
chapel as
meme,
Zoom.
you know, with the
Oh,
bird,
you know,
oh my
shuffling
gosh, we
cards.
got an
He
interracial
wrote us a
marriage
letter
on national television.
about his little daughter Ava, and I saw her just before I came over. She was just a year old when she
Don't
was
like that.
diagnosed with rare kidney disease, cancer.
Uh-oh.
After 26 blood
this got dark.
transfusions, 11 rounds of radiation, 8 rounds of chemo, 1 kidney removed,
Oh, Lord.
giving a 5% survival rate. He wrote how in the darkest moments he thought, if she goes, I can't stay. Many of you have been through that as well. Julian, I understand
Yikes.
that like so many of you.
is this person going to be here
I
now?
read Jill's book describing our family's cancer journey and how we tried
Yeah, now
to
this just got
steal
really
moments
dark.
of joy where we could with Bo. For them, that glimmer of joy was the half smile of their baby girl. It meant everything to them.
It's like an Anne Sexton
They never
poem.
gave up hope. Little Ava never gave up hope. She turns 4 next month.
Wait, hold on. Those are the parents.
Yeah, those two parents.
I've got some comments.
No wonder why it took so many transfusions.
And she's watching the tonight if she's not asleep already.
Oh,
For the lives we can save.
oh man. So he
Who
was
is
in the
that?
military and they met in Panama. Oh, he does what every white guy does in the
lives we
military.
can save and the lives we've lost. Let this be a truly American moment that rallies the country and the world together and proves that we
wife's
can still
kids.
do big things. 20 years ago, under the leadership of President Bush and countless advocates and champions, he undertook a bipartisan effort through PEPFAR to transform the global fight against HIV/AIDS. It's been a
can't put
huge
that up on
success.
We can't put that up, but it's
He thought
funny.
big. He thought large. He moved. I believe we can do the same thing with cancer.
Oh, we got the
The
cane in the
cane.
camera.
Let's end cancer as we know it.
Oh, there's Bono.
Bono.
Cancers once and for all. Folks,
I wonder if that guy on the right with the
there's
hat
one
is his
reason why we've
agent.
been able to do all of these
What is the
things.
chutzpah it takes to wear a hat in
Democracy
the House of
The most
Representatives?
fundamental thing of all.
Did you see that
Democracy.
nose?
Everything's possible. Without it, nothing.
We've
is.
explored the relationship
The
between
last few
the
years,
tiny
democracy
hats
has
and
been threatened and
you know,
attacked,
black
put at
actors, right?
risk.
And I mean, Bono's Irish, so I guess that's
Very
close
rumor
enough.
January the 6th.
It's still not clear why
Just a few
Bono is
weeks
here.
ago,
Doesn't he
unhinged,
raise funds for
Big
cancer?
lie.
Oh
AIDS.
yeah, that must be
Will not
it.
unleash
Or
the
AIDS?
political
One of the two.
Violence, the home of the then Speaker of the House of
Just something for
Representatives,
grids.
using the very same language the insurrectionists used
Oh,
as they stalked these halls and chanted on January 6th. Here tonight in this chamber is a man who bears the scars of that brutal attack, but is as tough and as strong and as resilient as they get.
there
My
he is.
friend Paul Pelosi. Paul, stand up.
Oh, Paul Pelosi.
He's the one
We
wearing the
saw,
hat.
but we saw. Oh, because he got beat or whatever.
Yeah, you got
okay.
beat by that.
By his catamite. Yeah, can I say that word? Yeah, I guess I
Yeah, I
can.
think so.
Come on.
Again, there's that dwarf. Why is she there?
We must all speak out.
Oh,
There's no place for political
that's
violence in
Paul
America.
Pelosi. Is this
We have to protect the
we
right
saw
to
the
vote,
video
not suppress the
footage,
fundamental
body
right.
cam
Honor
footage?
the
That
results
looks.
of our elections, not subvert the will of the people. We
He
have to
got
uphold the
beat
rule of
by
law and
a
restore trust in our
prostitute.
institutions of democracy. We must give hate and extremism in any form no safe harbor.
Damn.
The scars of butt sex.
Democracy
Damn.
must not be a partisan issue. It's an American issue. Generation of Americans has faced a moment where they have been
Yes,
called to
one
protect our
more thing.
democracy, defend it, stand up for it. And this is our moment. My fellow Americans,
No, Mr. Cat, nothing. The
meet tonight at an
insurrectionists had
inflection
nothing
point.
to do with Paul
One of
Pelosi.
those
Paul
moments
Pelosi's a homosexual.
that only a few generations ever face, where the direction we now take is going to decide the course of this nation for decades
Oh,
to come.
Lord.
We're not bystanders of history. We're not powerless before the forces that confront us. It's within our power of we, the people. We're facing the test of our time. We have to be the nation we've always been at our best. Optimistic, hopeful, forward-looking. A nation that embraces light over dark, hope over fear, unity over division.
See, there's that,
over
like,
chaos.
you know,
We have to
Calvinist
see each other
messianic
not as
roots of the
enemies,
country
but as
coming out in
fellow
the speech.
Americans. We're good people. The only nation in the world built on an idea.
Yeah.
The only one.
Yeah, I like the ideas that were in the 1790 Immigration Act.
Other nations
Post the circle, Sandbatch.
are defined
Oh,
by
man.
geography, ethnicity. But we're the only nation based on an idea
Yeah, this one.
that all of us, every one of us, is created equal in the image of God. A nation that stands as a beacon of the world. A nation in a new age of possibilities. So I've come to fulfill my constitutional obligation.
Oh, we're near the
Report the State of the Union.
Oh, thank
And
God.
here's
Okay,
my
that's the
report.
only reason.
Because the soul of this nation is strong. Because the backbone of this nation
Oh,
is
the
strong.
back broken.
Because the people of this nation are
Buck
strong.
broken?
The State of the Union is strong.
God, that is a weak State of the Union.
Every one of us
I'm
is
not
just
lying.
like an idea, man.
Jeez, there wasn't a lot to work with there.
No. Like, is
Oh, you
that
left all
it?
the- So what's with the 1870? What's
Yeah,
that
I was
passed
noticing
in
the same thing.
1870?
I'm not new to this place.
No, you're
I
not.
stand here tonight.
He's been there since 1870.
I've ever served here.
Oh, at the adoption of the 13th, 14th, and
But
15th
I've
Amendment.
never
Yeah,
been
that's
more
it.
optimistic
The
about
enforcement
our
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
about the future.
The 1870
remember who
pins
we are. We're the
marks the
United
first year
States
of a
America,
killing of an
and there's
unarmed
nothing-
and free
nothing beyond
black
our
person
capacity
by the
if we do it
police.
together. God bless you
Oh,
all. and
come
may God
on.
protect our troops. Thank you.
And God protect our troops.
You know, I would really
Not
like
the
to
ones
give
we
him
got
his,
in Ukraine.
That's the worst State of the Union I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, honestly, it was like you know that meme format that's like, oh, I forced an AI to watch 10,000 hours of
Yeah.
Seinfeld, and then it wrote an episode. This was like that, but with the State of
Yeah.
the Union.
All right, I'm
You
That's
know,
going to
exactly
hide
what
this.
happened.
We're going to just go straight into talking about it now. I'll leave it on, but
Yeah, I'm gonna look at fat people, so keep it on.
yeah, I'll leave it on. I am going to turn the volume down, though. So that's the State of the Union, everyone.
his elf is in front of the camera again.
You know, like I'm willing to give
I had
people
no idea
credit.
that was Paul Pelosi.
Yeah, he looked better than I thought he would. You know, I was expecting something considerably more deformed. But why he was sitting next to Bono is it like I don't even want to think about it.
Mm.
But-
So what were the broad themes that I guess you could pull out of that? Is
It didn't have any structure, man. Like normally these
really
things,
was
like
all
you,
over the
like you know, they're gonna try. There's a team of writers that's been working on this thing since last year, and that's what they came up with. Like I'm not even commenting on the necessarily the content of it so much because I mean, I guess you got economy stuff. Ukraine war's not going as badly as it could. Some shit about pits, burning pits that I don't know what the hell was going on with that, but there was no, as you know, as a literary document that was terrible. You know,
I mean,
that's my
the burn pits
takeaway.
are related to the U.S. military. I mean, that's been a talking point since literally 30 years ago in the aftermath of the first Gulf War. But the purple-haired creature in the background, Connor, is a sitting U.S. Congresswoman from Washington.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, there's no thesis. There was no thesis statement here. I mean, I was anticipating that they were going to run really hard. They were going to lean really hard on the economy because they had this narrative set up where, you know,
They've been talking about it all day on the media. Like,
Yeah,
I did
like-
some brief news reels today to prep for this. Every talk was about Jerome Powell and the state of the economy and the jobs report from the BLS.
Well, I mean, they did. There was they did FOMO a couple of weeks ago or whatever, and then but there was the narrative build up to this was sort of like Jerome Powell. He spoke a couple of weeks ago, sounded like he wasn't very confident about the jobs report. Then non-farm payroll comes out. We've suddenly found 330,000 jobs that we didn't know we had, lying around, somewhere. from the same place we got all the votes in Minnesota or whatever, I guess. And then they talk again today. Jerome Powell says we're going to get inflation down to 3% or whatever. Goldman comes out and says chances of near-term chances of going into recession now slashed to below 25% or whatever. First of all, I don't believe these numbers, and I was anticipating that they were going to try and push an inflation control narrative way harder, because the way I read all of this was that all of this was building up. They're putting political pressure on the Fed to raise interest rates even higher and bring inflation down for political points. But then they just blew it here, is the way I read it, or maybe I've just been wrong, because they had the perfect setup. The entire media apparatus at one time has been lined up to say, the economy looks better than anybody could have possibly anticipated. And then they flubbed it here. I don't think anybody believes them. Sorry, that was a lot of talking at once.
Yeah, it's weird too, because you would think that, and obviously I'm not like an expert on State of the Unions, but you would have assumed that he would have, really harped on jobs, inflation reduction. And he kind of scattershot mentioned very vaguely a few things. And I realized that the drug prices has been a major, priority of the Biden admin. So fair enough. But at least broadly speaking, it was kind of oddly unorganized. This is something you'd expect out of a high school level speech, where it's just good things. We like good things. But I was kind of surprised by how unstructured it was, at least from my perspective.
We didn't hear anything about tech, and that's where the real Gotcha-damerung is in the economy right now. And you would think we would be
manufacturing.
Yeah.
Oh, that
you would
laugh.
think. Yeah.
Elena Kagan just just bad. It was all over on one hand, I have to ask myself, does any of this matter? Does any of this matter?
I mean, it matters to the voters, and it did sort of seem like he was trying to tune into his his core audience, which is old people.
Yeah.
The only people watching television at 8:00 on Tuesday night, I guess, except us. And but even then, yeah, I mean, I guess their brains are all turned into mush along with Joe at this point. And so you just have to go through the motions. Really, if this is what they can come up with, they shouldn't do a State of the Union anymore, because there's no requirement that the president has to deliver in person. It wasn't even like Thomas Jefferson never delivered it in person. I don't think any president did until, I don't know, who was the first one. You would think I would know this.
I was expecting you to.
I think it was Grover. I think it was Grover Cleveland, but I'm not entirely certain.
We just asked out loud the first person to deliver the State of the Union in person. It was Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah.
First time since 1801 that such an address was made in person before a joint session of Congress. Answered that question.
Good old Woodrow.
Yeah, but
I knew there was a reason. As Woodrow Wilson's strongest defender and his top guy, I knew there was a reason. I should have known that. I could feel my own lack.
Whoever his personal doctor is did a really good job. His mental acuity was not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit kind of mealy-mouthed, but what do you expect, right?
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that, staffer behind him, though. It's like an Anglo Nick Fuentes without the mustache.
It's exactly what's going on there. He looks morose.
It's I've wiped so many diapers.
If only you knew how dirty those diapers were.
He's like, dude, he's got 45 more seconds before his brain pops back out. Get him off the floor.
Before the shit starts trailing on the House of Representatives.
Jeez.
I will not rest in But yes, those were the parents, and then I heard 20-something transfusions, and I'm like, oh, well, that explains why. Who is that?
Is that Jen Psaki?
No.
Nope.
No, Jen
Shit.
Psaki's way cuter than that.
Yeah, she's got a job at MSNBC now. I have the volume deliberately turned down for a reason so you can hear us since the speech is over.
Yeah, they're not saying anything interesting.
Nothing here is interesting. He's literally doing the hand shaking and the shoulder rubbing.
I wonder what he's like day to day. Like, what is Yeah, because I used to work for people that work for presidents, so I've heard things about like what various presidents and different states of disarray were like. Like I used to work for people in the Reagan administration, and like quietly, the Reagan administration people will tell you that he was starting to slip. Like, he couldn't remember the names of East Wing staff by 1984 at times. So like the rumors about his health are mostly true. And then like some more salacious things about George W. Bush being on an endless carousel of amphetamines and barbiturates, and depending on how you catch him in the cocktail, he wouldn't. But I wonder what Joe Biden's like. Literally just got to prop him up, man. This stream just became a historical artifact, I think.
Oh, Bush Jr., Jake.
Oh yeah, the second one.
Bush Sr. actually had an idea of what he was doing.
Yeah, but Bush Sr. You really want to go back to like last like totally competent if evil president? It was probably him.
Yeah, I'm honestly like this is, and I know this makes really terrible, internet television, but that was a god awful speech. There's just like, I feel like there's nothing to say about it. It's more entertaining to just talk about like the cavalcade of freaks that came out to watch this.
Speaking of cavalcade of freaks, there was a super chat on Entropy for $10 US from Seasider saying, "It's probably a little chilly. I want to believe that there's 2 people underneath that leopard skin blanket." Darth Kilhoon for $3 US says, "Just joined and it's over. I'll watch the rerun, but keep up the hard work, guys. I know how difficult it is. It can be to listen to Boomer Truth Regime. This stuff sometimes is interesting."
Yeah, it just wasn't this time. I listen to Jerome Powell when he talks. Like,
you stand for Jerome Powell.
I am like, yeah, okay. Jerome Powell's an Anglican. He's on the board of the Nature Conservancy. Like, what is it? What not to like about him?
He's the last Anglo.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things to point out. Like, we went from having nobody for a while to like now we're back on top. We got the King of England and Jerome Powell again. Smedley Butler. Oh, the Smedley Butler meme. Well, he's dead, so like it doesn't really matter if we trust him. But I sometimes wonder about the Smedley Butler story. It seems too good to be true.
That's the War is a Racket one.
Yeah, the Banana War guy. I did a podcast about Smedley a long time ago, but I was not the keynote. Is that Taylor Swift? No, it's
Who is
not.
that behind her? Who is over her shoulder looking at them? What is that?
That creature in a suit?
Yeah.
Oh.
God, that woman she's like ugly Taylor Swift.
Jerry.
Can you call women ugly online anymore? Actually, like,
yes.
Yes.
Who is that James Brown looking?
This is Washington, D.C. This is the last place on earth you can still call women ugly on the internet.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I see. He's got that smile on his face, too.
He's just staring right at me.
He's waiting for Bob and Vagine to be posted.
He's his long-distance diaper watcher. He's just staring at the presidential dumper.
That's Congressman George Santos. What are you talking about?
George Santos is like the perfect embodiment of the 56% Amerimut meme. It's not even funny. Like, it's just... Oh, that's just Sheila Jackson Lee. One of the, like...
I thought that was Maxine Waters. I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, Sheila Jackson. She's the one from Houston, isn't she?
Yeah. We're getting ready to do that selfie. Let's go.
Yeah. I get her mixed up with a longtime member of the Louisiana House of Representatives named Barbara Norton, and they have exactly the same energy.
God, I'm loving the racism in chat right now.
That is the most. She's like in. If you were to make a rogues gallery of the House of Representatives, she might be top 3 bad. You know,
she's one of the worst.
Yeah.
She's just like a pure race grifter, right?
Yeah.
She's up there, yeah, with several of them. Raul Grijalva is the worst. Cristero 27, yes, it is always worth learning how to fly a plane. You never know when you need it. No towers in chat, gentlemen. You all can be nicer.
Oh, they broke it up. There's a Z in there.
Oh, good. Kamala Harris is still looming. Who are all these people? I get that there are 535 members of Congress, but we really don't need that many.
We need way more. Well, that's a different argument.
No, I mean, Germany has way more than we do, and they have a population that's about the third of ours.
What is the I'm trying to if the original like 1890.
Oh my gosh, that little guy he's still following the camera. Little Indian gentleman. Who is that?
We could reverse image search him. Screen cap and reverse image search.
Yeah, chat.
But then we might find out the answer, and it might be worse.
Autism.
You know, he's one of the Rent boys. Little too
like that.
Little heavy on the cocktail.
The little chat GPT bit about the Rent boys. Get one from some. Yeah, because they weren't going to make it back home. This one.
This is just kind of depressing in a weird, like the whole, all of it,
Well, the media, they always try to, and I guess a lot of the audience is probably, in a lot of ways, is probably too young to really remember. All you Zoomers are a little bit young to really remember the Obama administration. But this is the great Karl Marx says, history recurs a second time as a farce. And in a lot of ways, all of the theatrics around the Biden administration, it's like the same. It's like a bad sequel to the Obama administration.
Joe's losing it. Look at him; his eyes are getting wide.
Yep.
See, what I need to do is to get the soundboard. Start doing what Patrick Casey does.
I don't mean too young to remember Obama, but I mean like too young to remember it on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. First time is tragedy. Second is farce. That's it.
Yeah.
His consciousness has left his body.
The soul left a long time ago.
Oh yeah, of course. He sold that to the credit card companies in 78?
I don't know. Who is this Kermit the Frog looking woman here? She's got the weird lips that look like a Muppet.
Is she a handler or is she a
no? She's probably someone in Congress.
Do you mean that one right there?
Yeah,
that fine woman.
That is
that's the iron worker lady, isn't it?
No,
it's not.
The iron worker
That's
lady
racist,
had a cross.
Hey,
damn, Sandbatch.
You see one ugly black woman.
That's what you get for living in New Orleans again.
Yeah. It all fades into one dark blur.
Just eyes and teeth.
Well, that's all you can really see. Creature is like something from Jim Henson's workshop. Oh my gosh.
Paul Moosefoot. I actually read that at first. I was like, oh, that must be, and then immediately.
This is what happens when you cancel Farscape. They run for office.
Oh. We used to be a country.
Used to be. Is that George? Where's Barack Obama? You'd think that you'd want your former boss to be at your...
It's very unusual that he's not there. Well, I don't know, because, again, like I said, because the orchestration of the Biden administration, whenever whenever Obama shows up, all the reporters revert back to fawning over him. And you remember like last year where they did that. Somebody did an analysis of that, and the reporters were all fawning over Obama, and like Biden as like president of the United States he's wandering around in circles over on the edge of the stage, like not making eye contact with anybody, kind of kicking rocks. It's not good. It's not good for the State of the Union to work work that way.
Yeah.
Obama's in the actual West Wing doing stuff.
Oh man.
Biden's gonna watch tomorrow to see what he said.
So, see you in the camp. I probably will see you in the camp. Is that an overgrown back? Anyone else from effing Germany here? Well, it was on AA stream with the Gippius, but I don't know how many Germans.
How was that? I've never heard that guy talk. I hate to put it this way. I'm a huge fan of his, and there are not a lot of people in this quote space or whatever that I would kind of fanboy out a little bit for, and he's one of them.
He has a fantastic sense of humor.
Yeah, he's really legitimately really funny.
Like he was good, and he had to tolerate all of the awful super chats asking him to do things in an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice.
By the way, you're preaching to the choir.
Preaching to the choir.
Does he have an eggplant emoji on his pin?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a cancer. I'm sorry, I'm a dick.
Well,
you're an eggplant.
I'm just a child. Wait, there's another Goblina in back.
Oh, good morning, Armin. I'm glad that you managed to tune in at 4:40 in the morning German time.
Yeah, why are you doing that?
All right. Well, I'm going to stop sharing this one.
Yeah.
It's over. It's
over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I loved what he had said, though, about James Lindsay. He's like, I'd love to meet him just to shit on his head.
Oh, that's where that comment came from.
Yeah.
God,
with no inflection whatsoever, by the way.
Yeah, just that pure, I want to shit on his head. Yeah, you're an eggplant, Jay Burden. You're an eggplant.
Well, fair enough.
I just wonder how many people remember that James Lindsay got famous. Like his first notable moment was he took a job working in East Tennessee, and then he felt threatened by the evangelical Christians that populate East Tennessee, and as an atheist, felt as though his workplace and his environment needed to be made more secure. Like that's a heel turn.
I mean, read all of his older work. It's all just new atheist bullshit.
Yeah. He's the new atheist frat bro. Hope he's watching.
This is my take on the story. That's all I got.
That's the banner on my Twitter account, and I stand by it.
That's my.
I'm glad
it's harsh.
I'm glad the chat picked up on the true romance.
Top tier North, yeah.
I'm honestly, I'm kind of disappointed because I almost hoped it would be worse. If it were just truly abysmal, at least there'd be something to talk about.
Yeah, and as a final analysis, it's mid. It was mid. It
was a mid speech. It was a mid. State of the Union is mid. That's the only takeaway. You know what you can be, supportive of, and what you truly can enjoy in this crazy ass environment that we're in. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. No, we did not. Okay, we're good. Well, since all three of us are here, what we really can support and show our love and affection for would be the Old Glory Club. Yeah. Since I've got 200 people live on air. If you want to focus on Americans that aren't batshit insane or require a heavy cocktail of drugs to know what they're talking about, it'd be these lovely folks over here. These are the people that you need to be listening to and supporting and giving your time and attention. Whether you want to know about what's happened in the past, listening to the stories of what really happened in ending the Vietnam War with Pete Quinones or Thomas 777, or just a little bit of American history that isn't paused. Head on over here to the OGC, find us on Twitter, Substack. The links are down in the description, and that's where you really should be focusing your attention on.
You've been practicing your PBS voice. That was perfect PBS delivery.
Oh well, I should probably train myself then.
No, it was soothing. Is the thing I was like, oh, Prude's living in his professional broadcasting voice.
In a former life, I probably was.
Yeah, pipe smoke and Adderall. I don't actually smoke the pipe anymore. Because I'm romantically unattached. So I have to. That's the kind of thing that you can only do whenever you're well inside the confines of the relationship.
Call the membership line right now and follow the link that is listed right here in the description, courtesy of Yiz the Eunuch, you too can have access to American history, politics, and culture that has not been ruined by the progressive revisionist narratives that have led to the utter destruction of this country. There are some people in this world, especially in the United States, that still care about its history, traditions, and the people that actually founded the place, like the three of us here, countless others like Radlib, Pete Quinones, Red Hawk Charlemagne, Ryan Turnipseed, and so much more, including Dave the Distributist, that actually give a shit about where this country is going and the hallowed ground that we walk on. If you want to know more, by all means subscribe. The links are down below in the description.
No, really? Did you just make that up? Yeah. Or are you reading that from somewhere?
I have like lovely pewter metal plates from my college days that say I'm really good at talking out of my ass.
Yeah,
like
that was
5 in the country.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So, yeah, we should have a membership line. I wholly agree. Yeah. Also, our prayer line is open now. So by all means, go to Entropy, which is pinned in the comment in the chat or down below through Subscribestar and other places. You too can get an answer to all the questions that you might have on American politics, both from me and this excellent panel up on screen.
Jacob bringing up an important point. You cannot say shit on NPR.
Yeah, fuck it. We'll do it live. It won't hurt you. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, I mean, this was really just. It started out with an optimistic tone of we're gonna win. We're gonna do all these great things. We're gonna finish the job. Which, I mean, if we're gonna finish the job on anything, he's doing a pretty good time to finish the job on this country. But you know, that tends to be the case. Do we do faith healing? No, but I can recommend you to a priest that'll do holy unction.
Sorry.
Was that your way of telling your fiance no?
No. I'm literally just a child, and so I'm playing with a knife on my desk and just dropped it.
But anyway. Well, that's actually what I've been doing while you were talking. I was just doing this. You know, I was just clicking it and whatnot.
Wait, actually, this is a bit of Jaybird
flicking your dick. You flicking your dick over there? Wait, what did we do?
Gerber knife.
Wait, Jay
dropping
Burden.
Things
Give the lore.
Jay Burden bingo card. You have a bingo card, Jay Burden?
I do. Yeah, the problem is apparently I don't have enough vocal tics to make up a full bingo card, so it's partially incomplete.
No, you just have I completely agree with you.
Yeah, exactly. There's only so many ways you can put that on a bingo card, right?
The esoteric Jay Burden agreeisms.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much for having me on, Prude. I feel bad that I couldn't add much, but I feel like that's more Joe Biden's fault than mine.
But Stephen Roberts for $9.99 US says thanks for the laugh out louds, boys. Thanks for the lols.
No, we tried.
We
anybody's left, y'all should go follow me on Twitter.
I have your Telegram linked down below. I will add your Twitter afterwards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then Machiavelli sucks to go. You know, Graper Secret Service. That dude did really look like Nick Fuentes, just minus the facial hair. He did look like a clean shaven Nick.
I haven't seen Nick Fuentes in a while. I mean, he's got that Latino thing. He could blow up he could get big any moment. And I'm not talking about in terms of popular. They like their Diet Coke.
The Templar says, give me Jay Burden bingo card themes. As a younger man, who talks about not remembering a lot of things from his childhood in terms of politically. I don't know, Jay Burden, what else do you talk about besides being a Zoomer?
I don't really talk about much. I really just hacked the system by having people who are smarter and more interesting than me on my show, which turns out is a great hack for starting a mildly successful niche right-wing podcast. I really got nothing.
Mm-hmm. Work for Johnny Carson and work for Lawrence Welk. It definitely worked for William F. Buckley, but he had the CIA helping.
He sure did. But remember, folks, this program and others like it are supported by frogs like you. There you go, Cowboy K. I hope that gets clipped somewhere. Jacob Brown for $2 says fun times. Well, that's what we're here for. That is what we are here for. He finds smart people and he agrees with them. That's what you do, Jay Burden.
Yeah,
Burden has the distinguished honor of hosting what is like I consider personally to be my worst ever like broadcast appearance anywhere, because I was like, I can't remember, I was like sick and dead at the same time. I just didn't know what I was talking through a haze.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, that is coincidentally also my worst broadcast appearance ever. Much so that I have a playlist specifically on my channel that you can only find through that playlist of just the worst, most dog shit interviews. Yeah. And again, that was not your fault. Both, at least me, I was not bringing my best. I think that it featured my infamous mistake of mixing up Huey Lewis and Huey Long.
Well, you know, that's the. Do you like Huey Long in the news?
But I think with Every Man a King, he really took off.
His early work as railroad commissioner
felt too consumerist and conformist for modern audiences. But, you know, it's time to get a reservation with the presidency. Only to get, you know, assassinated. Well, you know, I try not to do stuff on like current thing, but the State of the Union is always a fun time to just take a look at how the rest of the country looks at the rest of us.
Well, I mean, you also
apparently Sarah Huckabee Sanders is doing the Republican response. Let's go.
Yo.
Oh, let's go.
What is she doing these days?
I don't know.
Is she like the governor of Arkansas or something?
Yeah, I think she's the governor of Arkansas. Let's go.
Yeah.
Share tap audio.
The Biden administration refuses to clear the border and save American lives.
All right.
After years of Democratic
embarrassing secret. I was born in Arkansas.
Calls to defund the police. Violent criminals.
That is embarrassing.
Yeah, it's one of my closely guarded secrets.
Well, it's on air now. 200 people started.
Ukraine, from North Korea to Iran. President Biden's weakness puts our nation and the world.
Look at the state of my Republican Party, dog. I'm getting lectured by some middle-aged white woman.
Stand up to China, our most formidable.
Here we are again. At least it's not Nikki Haley.
And unacceptable.
She's running for president, bro.
Biden is unwilling to
oh my God.
She's announcing next week.
I thought she already did.
Oh yeah, but the official announcement date's the 15th.
Oh, the pre-announcement announcement.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Gio, would you? I have to ask Spandrel's interrogatory. Would you bang?
Nikki Haley?
No, this lady. Well, actually, we'll do Nikki Haley and Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Nikki Haley, maybe. Sarah, no. Oh God, the most obscene conversation I've ever had with an IRL billionaire was a very sexual one about Nikki Haley. I was uncomfortable in this conversation. Like I was like, "Look, what are you telling me about this, man?"
She's got her dad's chin.
It's not normal. It's crazy.
Like, hold on. Like, what?
Make no mistake. Republicans will not.
Mike Huckabee, right?
We will leave
former governor of Arkansas. Let's take a look at that chin of his.
Not what's politically correct.
See, Gio says Nikki Haley's a wood. Yeah, sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah, she's got her dad's chin. Like it's kind of sad.
Where jobs are abundant and paychecks are rising. Where the freedom our veterans shed their
dads.
I remember Mike Huckabee running for president in 2008. That was a fun time.
These are the principles Republican governors are fighting for.
Nikki Haley, though, is a no for me. Both of these are no's.
Republicans and Speaker Kevin McCarthy. We will.
Lauren Boebert, maybe.
Lauren didn't look so good today. I was like, she's getting those chipmunk cheeks, you know, some lines showing up in her face.
As a student there, I will never forget watching my dad, Governor Mike Huckabee, and President Bill Clinton hold the doors open to the Little Rock Nine. Doors that 40 years earlier had been closed.
Oh
to them.
boy,
Are we doing,
anti-racist.
are we doing civil rights lecturing from the conservatives?
Yeah.
From the
Ugh,
schoolhouse.
Dems are the real racist.
Memorialized in bronze at our
Yes,
space.
Robert, you are.
I'm proud of the progress our country has made.
Breaking.
Regardless of
It almost immediately follows up the next comment from Gio.
of our day.
Bober is a wood,
Tomorrow,
but the left.
I will unveil an education package that will be the
I don't
most
care.
far-reaching.
I think she was a porn star. I think that's why she has the porn star look.
Was she?
I think the story behind her is there was some like promotional agency that like grabbed her out of nowhere and made her into a thing. So like you interpret that how you will.
By increasing their starting salary.
Well,
from
I
one
love
of
how the
lowest
first.
to one of the highest in the nation. Here in
At the
Arkansas,
very least, it's a casting couch story.
It is a
Republicans are
constant
working
story,
to
but
end policy
there is a
trapping kids in
tweet
failing
account
schools
called
and sentencing them to a
JFC.
lifetime
I'm
of
not going to
poverty.
use the Lord's name in vain.
We will
Yeah.
educate, not
But it says
indoctrinate our
Laura
kids.
Bober looks like a D-list
Put
MILF
students
porn
on a
star
path
without
of
the ill.
success.
I mean, she is like, yeah, that's like she's like a deplorable rodent.
This is our
Oh yeah,
moment. This
she's the
is our
deplorables.
opportunity. A new generation.
But
born in the waning
apparently
decades of the last
MSNBC
century,
commentator
shaped
Kurt
by
Bardella
economic
said
booms
that
and stock market busts,
Lauren Bobert's
forged
potential
by the
electoral
triumph of the
defeat
Cold
might be a
War
gain
and the
only for
tragedy
OnlyFans.
of 9/11.
Damn.
Brutal.
Like what? Sometimes they say like none of us could say that. Like, could you imagine Sarah Huckabee Sanders saying that about somebody on the opposition?
Anytime that a
Yeah.
Republican says anything remotely based, like they get condemned. Like that's the case.
But by all the other Republicans first.
America
Yeah.
can once again be the land of the free.
Dollar store Lisa Ann.
I'm
Is
wondering
that the
what
end?
During my 2.5
Nope,
years
here we
at the
go.
White House,
Jeez, she won't stop talking.
I traveled.
I wonder
Yeah,
what the because we've
women's
already
stuff.
seen the like what's that
trip I will
that,
never
like
forget.
bizarre homosexual's name, like Miss MAGA,
No.
Lady MAGA.
Yeah.
Lady MAGA, yeah. I wonder what when are we gonna get our our based MAGA porn star?
We do already though. We have
Yeah.
George Santos. He was a drag queen.
Oh, you're
Was
right.
he?
See, I'm really exposing my own ignorance here by how little I follow like both daily politics and like the MAGA crowd.
I have
No.
so I have way too many mutuals that are like in the normie mainstream Republican campaign sphere.
Yeah,
This is the
so
only
they
reason why
have-
I see this shit gets retweeted. Because I'm like, oh,
See-
George Santos apparently was allegedly a drag queen.
That's the downside. Is you have to be in on that DC gossip circuit. So you have to follow these people's lives, and you're expected to be somewhat aware of it. I haven't followed like day-to-day politics in like God, it's been almost 3 years now.
Nearly 12 hours
I'm just a theory cell now.
in the pitch black of night. We landed in the war-torn part of Western Iraq.
Did she serve in the military?
She looks like she did.
Yeah.
She's just that's an M1. She was an Abrams tank.
Why haven't we sent her to Ukraine yet?
Who were in the fight against
It's good.
ISIS.
She's 40.
Had gathered
She's a
Whoa.
millennial.
with senior
What?
military leadership.
Wait, no, there's no millennials that are 40 years old yet.
Hold
No,
on.
there's not.
What is the
President
term
and
for
First Lady.
millennial
They're
age range? There we go. It
Ex-millennials.
says 27 to
And we
42.
did.
Oh no, that makes me.
Millennial.
Oh no, you're killing me right now.
And dude, I
27 to
believe
42.
by that definition, doesn't that make you a Zoomer?
No, because I'm 27.
Ah, damn.
Turning 28 this year, so no.
Religion,
Fucked.
That is a rough 40.
All
I
right.
had an
so
actual real
did she
life
serve
argument
in
the
the
other.
military?
She has to have.
Early
She's
political
got the-
career.
over and over again.
No,
USA,
she didn't.
USA.
She did not serve in the military.
It was an absolutely perfect picture.
Sanders was a
makes our
field
country
coordinator for her father's 2002
One of the
re-election
young
campaign.
soldiers yelled from the
She was a
back,
regional liaison for
"Mr.
congressional affairs at the Department of
I
Education under
re-enlisted
W.
in the military
Field
because
worker
of
for
you."
his campaign in Ohio in
The
04.
president said, "And son, I'm here."
She's a
because of you."
she served as the senior advisor to the
Shortly
president
after,
of
that young soldier came up to me.
Talsa Matalis
He said, "Sarah,
Strategies.
You have a tough job.
I think that this is essentially. Have you seen that that like Eminem meme? You know, where it says a soldier came up to Eminem and asked him for his autograph, and he said, "Only if I can have yours first." This is essentially like an audio version of that exact same story.
There's nothing of substance here. Like, at least Josh Hawley or Tom Cotton or someone would have been a little more upfront to say,
because they're men.
God, Tom Cotton is my sleeper for like I think if there is a Republican, Jacob's been so mean to me all night.
Tom Cotton, don't worry, he does that to me too.
Tom Cotton is my dark horse for like the next 10 years of the Republican Party. I think he's the if Paul Fahrenheit's Caesar exists, it's him. Yeah, right, exactly.
Back home, doing our part in the fight for freedom.
Yeah, I'm. This is not worth my time.
America
Sorry,
is
fellas,
free
I'm not sharing this.
because we are free. But today,
Tom Cotton has
our freedom is under attack. Is in danger.
Why are her eyes so lifeless, bro? She's been working in politics since she was born.
Yeah, she's been topped up on adrenochrome since day one.
Of Republican leaders
Like, this is just awful.
She's got the same like vocal tics as her father, which weren't endearing on a man either.
No.
Hey, you want to hear the most recent Movie Bob tweet on this exact same interview?
Mm-hmm.
Holds the future in his hands.
Ignorant tubs of Jesus juice, like the Huckabees, accusing any other group of forcing rituals on anyone is the height of irony and the depths that illustrate the utter worthlessness of religiosity and traditionalism. Which, how about that for the most completely insane shit-lib take?
That was Movie Bob?
Yeah, that was Movie Bob.
Oh, man.
My favorite mutual.
Sandbatch, are you familiar with Bob Chipman?
Wait, it's like if it's the guy I'm thinking of, it's the guy he's been doing like movie reviews since like the dawn of the internet.
Oh yeah, yep, and
yeah,
he's still around, and he's still insane. He's just like
Movie Bob is
the world's
millennial entitlement.
Yeah, but he's a lol cow, isn't he? Like that's I've used this phrase properly, haven't I? Yeah.
He's a lol cow who also unironically understands like Schmittian power politics better than almost anyone on the left. He's the world's most honest liberal.
Oh my gosh.
He's
Robert Louis Bob Chipman, also known as the internet pseudonym Movie Bob, born in 1981.
Is he the same age as Sarah Huckabee?
Sarah? Do some math, Jay Bird, do some math.
I can't do math. I've had
man, that's just rough.
No, he is a millennial. So Bob is a millennial. Like
Kurosawa, I make mad. Ugh.
God, millennials entering middle age. I'm getting like a projected like a dislocated.
Mori.
Oh my God.
Memento Mori, Sandbatch.
Yeah, Gia's here to save me.
Yeah, shout out to all the lol cows in the world. Maybe one day not be them. But yeah, he is the 37-year-old consumer meme. Like, he is that. But I'm not finding out how many of my like viewers watch EFAP still. No, Bob can't be a millennial. Jay Burden already had him as his Gen X. What? You thought he was Gen X?
I got invited on by the Longhouse guys to discuss Gen X, and I turned it into a 2.5-hour conversation on Movie Bob lore. Which I can't really blame. That was really my fault. I can't blame them for that.
Movie Bob is, just... It's also weird to think that, like, the Nostalgia Critic and all those other guys are still alive. You know? Like, their time of, like, major fame is a thing, but... Yeah. I just tuned in. What did I miss? You missed a very mid-State of the Union address, and we turned off Sarah Huckabee Sanders because, well, it wasn't all that great.
Yeah, basically it was just a lame version of like Who Would You Do, but with like ugly U.S. politicians. And the answer was no.
Okay, so everyone find this tweet. Everyone retweet it. Everyone go retweet Movie Bob tweet. We're doing it right now.
I was telling Prude before we went live, Movie Bob has already started, because I'll never respond to him because I don't want to get blocked. but he's already found, mutual friend of the show, Cody Browning. So there is a crossover between Pro-White X-Files, which is just some meme series Cody Browning has come up with, and now Bob Chipman has started retweeting and responding to them.
Oh my
which
gosh,
is just hilarious.
Do it.
And it's part of the reason I think Twitter is like the funniest app in the world, right? It's just stupid.
What a good time.
It's the Dom Perignon of social media.
Mr. Watson, I'm not going to put that on screen, but yeah, I pretty much. Twitter is made for 30-year-olds, George. I love. Oh, you know who just retweeted the movie, Bob? This person retweeted your retweet. I'm just going to say this person's name. Yala Helen Keller Truther.
Every once in a while, I get followed by an account that's just too stupid not to follow back. Like one of my favorite mutuals is a guy named Georgicus Floydicus. And he's
one of my strongest soldiers. Like he's
hilarious. But honestly, like the right-wing groper Twitter is genuinely, there's some gems in there.
I think there's a gimmick account that follows me. I think it's like Foreskin Restore or something like that.
Hey, that's not a gimmick. That's not a gimmick.
No, it's a legitimate business, but the guy's tweets it's a gimmick post. He's like a reply guy to every it's entertaining. Apparently he knows Georgicus. He's a trooper.
I don't know how to answer that question. What is a mutual?
Someone that you follow and follows you.
Yeah. It's nice in dictionary. I was trying to think of a more clever way but I was trying to come up with a way to make it sound non-sexual, but I don't think there's a way to make it sound non-sexual. Like when you said it sounded sexual.
That I follow someone and they follow me back.
Yeah. No, don't worry about it.
Yes, Charlemagne, you can. He will tell people where to go and how to do it. It is a reply guy. I don't know if he's still on Twitter though. I'm pretty sure he got banned. But yeah, it's a process, and it doesn't look comfortable.
I want Elon to give me my other account back. I miss my old account.
Okay, I'm glad that's where you were going. I want Elon to give me back my voice. All right. You can press one button and go to Mars. Press the other button. You can have your foreskin back.
Oh, I'm pressing that other button every time.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, Jay Ford.
This is a mess.
Okay, yeah, go back to, if it was like 4:40 when you got on here, go back to bed, towel.
I'm impressed at the devotion of your audience. So, like you wake up at 4:40 a.m. and
I don't think that was
Prude is streaming the State of the Union. I gotta get in there.
Well, I love my audience. They're a great bunch of people. 13 tweets on Movie Bob. Let's go.
Imagine how Bob feels right now.
Skeptical Waves did it. The Helen Keller Truther. 5 other people. Geo retweeted.
Movie Bob's just sitting in his mom's basement. It's like, this shit doing numbers.
This is doing numbers. Yeah. I had that happen to me a couple of weeks ago. Somebody like, it was like right where I had been off Twitter for a couple of weeks, and I had forgotten what happens whenever you like stumble into leftist Twitter.
Oh,
somebody was doing the one thing I can't like. There's like a couple of like triggers that will bait me every single time, and if you say something bad about John C. Calhoun, I will I will appear in the mirror and stab you in the back. And so like I went to bat for John C. Calhoun and did not realize I had stumbled into DemSoc Twitter. And like I woke up the next morning and I've been retweeted by like it was like 200, 300 retweets, like well over 100,000 views, just absolutely roasting me. And nobody on my timeline ever said anything about it or so. And I was like, damn, that must have been really embarrassing.
So I had a similar experience with this, which is I broke into Black Twitter with a tweet that was quite simply, Hitler never said the N-word. And Black Twitter was not a fan of that. I thought it was merely an accurate historical observation.
My favorite meme out of that was you saying that tweet and then Thomas777 in the replies. It was like
immediately appearing.
It was perfect. Oh, just delightful. But someone had said something rather interesting in the chat. And so now I have to look it up, you know. And apparently it's allegations that Stevie Wonder has actual functioning vision. Oh man. Yeah, Twitter is incredibly segregated. It's the last place in the world where you can have freedom of association.
It does amaze me how like thick the barriers are.
Oh my god, Luther Plar's reply. I'll just put that up on screen. I wonder if this ain't getting monetized, so send your super chats now.
I was about to say, I think the MAGA milkers probably got you.
Oh, well, that's why I just say the MAGA mommies. Like, you have to be, you know. Oh, this is called having a good time on Twitter. So true, Cringe Walker. So
oh
true.
My god.
Leave it to the Beaver gang to do something about it. Okay, well, with that all being said, Mr. Burden, Mr. Sandbatch, where can people find you and what kind of stuff do you do? Mr. Burden.
So I host an interview show roughly 4 times a week, Monday through Thursday. You can find that on YouTube. Just look up the Jay Burden Show, and you can also find that on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to audio content. I just recently, like as in earlier this night, I spoke to Fritz Imperial, one of the older guys in these spheres, kind of Catholic reactionary. And incidentally, my episode with Pete Quinones, where we talked about kind of like the nature of evil and the nature of the right and the left, just dropped on his feed. So if you want to listen to Pete's podcast, you can find me there as well.
Mr. Sandbatch.
Are we shilling?
We are promoting. I don't say the word shill on this channel.
Oh, okay, so we're promoted. Yeah, well, go follow me on Twitter, damn it. That's the only thing I got. See Sandbatch on Twitter. You follow me on Telegram too, but yeah, I want Twitter followers, and I've got a blog too, Esoterica Americana on the Substack. You can tell I've been drinking. I was like, oh, the St. Julian's getting to me. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm so bad at shilling. I'm so bad at promoting. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
A man who doesn't know his worth in an elevator pitch. Would Sandbatch on Content Minded get me canceled? No, it wouldn't get you canceled.
No.
It would be a great episode on American history.
I can do theory cell shit. Like I think I balk at a curse word. That's the one. That's the one I'll balk at. You can do anything. I'll do anything. I'm like a dog,
Oh god. Well, Templar, you know what? Screw it. I'll put that up on screen. I'm not going to read that one out loud, but if that's the goal of the Restoration Bureau, I totally understand. All right. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, this rather fun impromptu news stream has been brought to you by viewers like you, as well as the Old Glory Club, which you should subscribe. All the links are down below in the description. And on top of that, we will be live this Thursday taking a look at Abandonware, a digital landscapes long since long and forgotten behind all of us, on the wonderful show with Giant Geo, the Digital Archipelago, later this week on Thursday. And then, of course, every Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Prudent Observations covering international relations, geopolitics, and literature. All that and more coming soon this week. I will be out, and I will not be on the air or live next week at all. I will be at an iconography workshop, and I'll be getting hard at work on that all week. So I will be out of commission from next Monday till Saturday. But nevertheless, we will have plenty of great pre-recorded stuff going live, including an episode of the Digital Archipelago then. So take care, good night, and remember, this was all just a big fat joke from this administration. There's plenty of things that are worth focusing on. Don't listen to Joe. Listen to these guys. Listen to the Americans of the Old Glory Club. Take care, be prudent, and God bless.